Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your Black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Jackson. If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I be done had a heart.
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
Yeah. All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that? Yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every Black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
About National Join a Positive Black Organization Day, because I don't want to be recruiting. I don't want to be recruiting and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
My name is Cassandra J. Matz, current Village of Olympia Fields trustee and your candidate for Village President of Olympia Fields. I've been a resident of Olympia Fields for 28 years. I believe in building strategic partnerships, establishing governance boundaries, and have and will continue to dedicate my life's work as a respected and credible voice when it comes to decision making. Olympia Fields has always been a community of familiarity and comfort, and I want to make sure the village stays that way. On Tuesday, April 6th, vote Cassandra J. Matz for your Olympia Fields Village President. Paid for by Citizens for Cassandra J. Matz.
WIFTV PM. WIFTV PM.
Peace. Assalamu alaikum. Touré Muhammad is in the building.
And Linda, Sissy Perez is in the building as well. What's going on, Touré?
Man, it's on and popping. Welcome to the Touré Muhammad Show.
Yes.
And where are we?
We're in What's in It for the Black People,
AKA Wakanda Land, south side of Chicago. We are so excited to be here at this fabulous station with all the shakers and movers.
Absolutely.
So it's good to see you this morning.
Same here, Touré. It's cold outside, but I made it.
Man, it is Chicago March. You know, my birthday was yesterday.
I know.
And historically, thank you. Historically, you never know what's going to happen on my birthday. We've had sunny skies. We've had snow. We've had sleet, rain.
Everything.
Everything.
I'm the 31st. Yep.
You're 31st? See? Oh, yeah. You don't.
Inside or outside?
Right. See, these March babies, man, we true. We real. These are some of the best babies ever.
And my son's birthday is March 27th.
March 27th. So it's on and popping. March babies in the building. You know what they say about us, Sonya? We were the babies made in the summer.
Exactly.
We're the babies made in the summer. And them spring breaks, and I'm at the spring breaks with those summer vacations. Got some folks in trouble. When you left school last year,
right,
you were much thinner. Folks that had to drop out of college and all that.
Yeah. It was one of those mornings where I wanted to cry back in the bed. I'm like, it's a day off.
Yeah, it was cool, you know, especially if you don't control the heat. But even if you do control the heat, you turned it off probably over the weekend. But, you know, all the heat is off and people done turned the furnaces off and everything off. Had to turn them back on.
Yeah, mine stay on because my house can get cold.
Yeah.
So I have babies, so I don't need the runny nose and the coughing. So
I
try to avoid it. Keep it at 70, 71. But I know Chicago law is 68 to be the temperature inside.
Right,
so they
right.
still have to keep the heat on until April, normally the mid-April.
Usually till April, but
so
you know.
Landlords and
At the first sign of heat, people start cutting it off on you.
yeah. People start calling the city
But,
like, oh, they turned my heat off early. So.
It is what it is. This is March. This is Chicago. And we have to be ready and down for whatever.
Absolutely.
And, you know, before we get started on today's show, we have an incredible show today.
Yes, we do.
We're going to be talking about something that, irregardless of where you are, you need to be focused on this in some aspect or another. But before we get into that, let's give some shout out and love to our people. Man, we want you to make sure that you never forget who has the best homemade ice cream in the city of Chicago. That's John Marcel's Homemade Ice Cream, 46 East 47th Street. They have regular and they have dairy and vegan options. So we appreciate them. Go visit them at SeanMichels.com.
And don't forget that every day is Thanksgiving at Dan's Soul Food Cafe located 2523 West 79th Street. They have great meals at affordable price and those $5, $6 hollers. I remember when he started those $5 hollers at the Taste of Black Chicago Eats, and he sold out. So visit them at danchicagosbest.com.
Man, I'll never forget that. I was like, Dan, what's going on? He was like, we sold out. We don't have anything else.
He's like, I'm going to make everything $5
We're done.
holler. And he sold out.
Yep, absolutely. And don't forget those dangerously delicious cupcakes and caramel cakes from Brown Sugar Bakery. You know what it is. Go to brownsugarbakerychicago.com and find out about all of the signature stuff they have as well as those incredible cupcakes.
Absolutely. Well, wait a minute now. Hold up.
Wait a minute.
But at least, like, you can't forget about Sissy's Taco Bar now, Touré.
Man, we cannot forget about Sissy's Taco Bar.
It's a great place for
you know what I think
street
about
tacos.
Every time I think about the name of the taco bar, I think about that scene. I think it was in Uptown Saturday Night, or it was the other one with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier, and they were in the bar. They was looking for little Percy.
Oh.
And they grabbed that man. He said, "Who you talking to?" Bill Cosby grabbed him and said, "I'm talking to you, sissy."
No, I had a young guy come in. I think it was Friday night, he kept calling me Sassy. Now I'm going to go down here. He was talking to the Woodlawn staff. I'm going to go down here and talk to Sassy real quick. You know how people drunk and they trying to get the hookups?
Right.
And, his staff was like, you ain't getting nothing out here for free. I'm going to come over here and talk to Sassy. You still not going to get nothing free from down here.
Let me talk to Sassy.
So now the Woodlawn staff is like, hey, Sassy. So it's an inside joke. But, yeah. So, again, we have jerk. We have Cajun Jack. That's our vegan tacos. We have the salmon, the blackened. So come on. We have the shrimp. So come and check us out on Tuesday. Don't let me just be standing there alone. So Tuesday, we have Taco Tuesday. We have a special from 12 to 2. 2 tacos for $5. And also on Thursdays, we have a special from 4:30. So we just flip the hours. So it's called the happy hour. So just before you go into the local bars or you want to go hang out or drink, come put something on your belly. That way you don't have a hangover. So come check out Sissy's Taco Bar we're right inside of the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Can't miss us. We have our signs out there now, so you'll be able to know that we're inside. So we've been getting great reviews on Uber and Grubhub, and also customers coming back in just to tell me the tacos are delicious. So that's what's up. So we're looking for, other brick and mortar locations. I can't stop. We're already in March.
Mm-hmm.
So, 2 months going to go fly by. So we're looking for a place. So if you guys know any place, also trying to become vendors in different locations too.
Right, that's right.
In the big spots like Sox Park or the Chicago Bears Stadium, because I know they have tacos and they're horrible, nasty. It's just
I've never had
flavor.
them.
Yeah, so they sell tacos, but the meat is just gross.
Well, I know they're not as good as yours.
No, so we're looking for those type of deals.
Man, that's what's up. That's what's up. And people, if they want to get a free taco, they can text Sissy's Tacos to 844-773-8392. Get that free taco.
And what are they texting?
That's what Sassy, that's what old boy that was talking about Sassy should have done. Got you. He should have signed up and got a free taco. But anyway, man, so today we have a quote of the day. And this quote is from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He says, and I quote, "Your whole mindset has to change if you want to conquer in a world like this. You have to have the mind of a conqueror." So, brothers and sisters, that's the focus for this week, having the mind, this year. Forget the week, because once you get it, you better keep it. But the mind of a conqueror.
Yeah, Tora, give the definition of the word. So in case people don't know, they'll know the meaning or the definition.
Well, a conqueror is defined as one who wins a country in war, subdues or subjugates a people, or overcomes an adversary. And today, brothers and sisters, that adversary is poverty, is crime, is violence, ignorance, and our own lack of desire to work together.
Absolutely.
To make our communities a decent and safe place to live.
We have to work together.
What other choice? We've tried everything else. Why not try our unity? And let's add on to that. It's weakness, slackness, gossip, slander.
Oh
If we didn't learn anything from, there's a few things to learn, but definitely one thing from some of the recent documentaries that have come out. One of the things that can destroy an organization is gossip. And slack talk.
And
and slander.
So much in our community. We want to downplay someone's, greatness. We want to pick at the negative instead of pointing out the positive.
That's right.
And we have to stop that in our community. We have to stop gossiping. If you're bold enough to gossip, come to that person and say it to their face.
That's right.
And if you're able to tell the next person, and if it's brought to you, be a man or a woman to admit to it.
Be a man or woman, admit to it. Be tough enough. Be strong enough. I remember even as a young man, I did not like for somebody to come to me talking about, did you say something about me behind my back? No. Before I said it behind your back, I told you to your face.
Absolutely.
So you would know if I said it. Yeah, Tory did say that because he told me that.
Yeah, we're all adults to be able to communicate with each other. Sometimes you don't have to put another person involved, but that's what we do because we're looking for something. We're looking to start something up. So let me get this going and start the confusion now, even if it's something small. So, and that's why I tell people I keep my circle small because I don't have time for that.
That's right.
It's negative. It's the energy that's coming from it. So I just remove myself from people like that.
Man, so my focus right now is to bring a conqueror mindset to the real estate game. I'm learning, I'm studying, I'm improving, and working real hard to become an effective participant in the real estate industry in such a way to help more black people get land and real property.
Absolutely.
If we look at, and this is going to be segue into the conversation we're having today, but there is one of the key components of wealth building is land. It's real property, right? You need a place to call your own. You need some land that you can cultivate. So we're going to be focusing on that. What about you? What is going to be your focus? What are your conqueror mindset?
I mean, I think I told you before, but even when it comes to Sissy's Taco Bar, we want to own, we want to have the real estate piece, and then we want to franchise it out. But we want to own our property that we franchise out. So that's my mindset. And also, I'm looking to purchase another house, but in land, to have more, so I can do more and have my own little farm and flowers and gardens. So that's what I want.
That's what's up.
So my vision is big, and I'm not going to stop until I get there.
Man, so if anybody's tuning in right now that is thinking about or has something that they are going to be conquering this year, post it and let us know, what is your focus? Man, we might be able to start developing an accountability group. We want to hear from you. Talk about, post in the comment section what you are going to be focused on conquering. So again, that quote from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is about having the mindset of a conqueror. And let me repeat it one more time for you. He said, your whole mindset has to change if you want to conquer in a world like this. You have to have the mind of a conqueror. Brothers and sisters, what are you conquering today? What are you going to conquer this week, this month? It could be a big thing. It could be something small. But each of us should be focused each and every day on what it is that we're going to overcome, what it is that we're going to achieve. It is wonderful and important for us to watch the people that we see on television and the people that are in the media, people that are on and various aspects of business and finance and the whole nine. What are we going to be doing? What is our focus? What is our mindset? So with that being said, I want y'all to tell us what your focus is and what you will be doing.
Absolutely.
So we got another segment. I hope y'all are starting to feel these segments that we have been massaging and maturing. Sonya's jumping up and down. So we got some pieces, man. Our goal is to focus on how we can help inform and entertain and enlighten you and inspire you. So with that being said,
I mean, we have a great show today, Touré, and I'm ready to bring the guests on almost. But I know we have to move by our little.
He's coming on. Make sure you stay close to that mic. You're coming in and out. Stay close to that mic. So, what they didn't teach you in history class segment. We want to continue because it's March to highlight amazing women, amazing black women.
Yes, and today we want to highlight Billie Holiday, and that's actually one of my favorites, Touré. So I was proud that you actually had her on there. She was a jazz.
I'm all in your head,
singer.
Gina. Yep. I'm all in your head.
Hey, with a career spanning 26 years, Touré Holiday had. She was an influence on jazz music and pop singing. Her vocal style is beautiful, and I was teaching my kids about her. And what's that? A Tisket, a Tasket? That's my favorite. But yeah, I love Billie Holiday. And I look up to those women back in the days too, because they carried themselves different too.
Yep, there was a different era. You know, of course, we can talk about the evolution of the image of women. You had the Supremes and you had Queens and back in the day, and then it kind of evolved into something different. But that's where we're at. Look at that. Ooh, look at that background music. Go ahead, Sonya. Hey, she's on our list. We can play her. So, what we don't talk about or what people don't remember, I think, and talk about a lot is the really what she represented, what she had was kind of like a Colin Kaepernick moment.
Absolutely.
Right? She sang Strange Fruit. And that's one of the songs that became a part of the civil rights movement, right? And that song, she didn't write the song. It was actually written by a Jewish guy, a Jewish civil rights activist, quote unquote communist, and poet who wrote the song after he saw a picture of a lynching, right? And when Billie Holiday saw heard the song or heard the poetry, she ended up putting it to music.
Absolutely.
And that song right there, although black people embraced it and knew what it meant, the larger community, white folks who heard the song, if they were not sympathetic to the civil rights movement and black people's cause, they were offended by it. And her career suffered because of that song that she refused to not sing. Refused to stop singing.
Absolutely. I mean, I love her. I love jazz, and I love our women from the past because they set that foundation for the next generation and next generation to come. So.
That's right. That's right. And Linda, it was once again, the United States government, through the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, Commissioner Harry Anslinger. He was recognized and known as someone who didn't like black folks, and he did not like that song. And so he tried to get her to stop singing that song. And when she refused to stop singing the song, now her, like many of our artists at different stages in their careers and in different times in history, had a drug problem, right? So he didn't provide her with support and find the people and put people around her who could help her overcome her addiction. But he used that and entrapped her and had her locked up for I think it was like a year and a half.
Wow.
Because he wanted her to stop singing that song.
It's amazing how they can have that power over us sometimes.
Yep, absolutely.
We have to outthink them and be smarter.
Yep, that's right. And of course part of that is not succumbing to those addictions. But one of the tragic things about it, and I don't think he was ever actually brought up on charges, but according to history, she had a negative experience with some narcotics and was in the hospital, and she was recovering. But they sent in authorities and handcuffed her to her bed and then refused to let the doctors continue to treat her.
Wow.
And that's where she died.
I sometimes I just love your mind. I mean, you know a lot because I didn't know that. So thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely. So, that's history. I love history. I strive to study and learn as much as I can. So that's a part of that history that is not talked about a lot from that wonderful lady, Billie Holiday.
Awesome. I mean, that's just amazing. But when we know our history, we do better.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Yep. So it was, wonderful, wonderful woman. She died with about 46 years old, I believe. And we cannot forget her and her accomplishments.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sonia, for playing that piece right there of part of Strange Fruit.
Yes. Strange Fruit.
Yep.
Where are you at, Touré?
So let's keep going. We're going to be bringing in our guests in a few minutes.
I'm excited about that.
Yes, he has some great stuff to talk about. So just to give y'all a little preview, and then I want, if you will, we need to find out how to make these tamales. So if you can just give people a little quick overview, but don't give them all your secrets.
Hey, you caught me off guard.
You didn't read the script, right?
No, I didn't. I've been running Touré since.
You've been busy all this morning, right? You've been running around. So, but we're going to be talking to Patrick Muhammad. He is a farmer, and he was not born a farmer, I don't believe, but he got into the farming industry, and he has a lot to share with us and an incredible story. He's also a principal, a teacher, an educator, rather. So we look forward to talking to him in a few minutes, and we want to encourage everyone to tell a friend, share this. because this conversation that we're going to be having about farming is going to be mind blowing. It's going to be very enlightening for you, and then he also has some pathways for land ownership. So, man, share, tell folks to tune in to hear about pathways to farming with our brother Patrick Muhammad.
Awesome. I'm excited because I just saw that one land on 79th.
79th Street.
79th over there by that school. Is that Calumet?
I don't know.
It's that grammar school on 79th, right past McDonald's.
Oh, you talking about Ruggles?
Yes.
On 79th and Calumet, yes,
So
absolutely.
There's land for sale, and I think they used to do something with outdoor selling, like your grass, your side, or something like that.
Oh, that's right. It's I know you're talking about.
That land right
That
there.
land right there is for sale.
Yeah.
Right. They were selling seeds and stuff for gardening stuff.
Yeah. And I just thought about that could be a great start. Someone can start a small garden, but a real one.
There are plenty of places all throughout the city. Absolutely. That's a great place right there.
It's right there in the neighborhood,
Yep.
right on 79th with the whole vision.
That's right. So tell us, man. Tell us.
How to make tamales.
How do you make these tamales? Because people are going crazy. They're frustrated when they don't order in time. But of course, it takes time to make those tamales. So talk about this process, because a lot of people love to eat them but don't know how to make them.
I mean, first you get your cornmeal flour. You mix it. I put, of course, water and vegetable oil. So, and I also season my flour. Some people don't; they just add salt. But I put a little kick to mine, so it can have a little flavor when you're eating the breading, because it's a lot. And then I cook my chicken and I marinate it, and I just go from there, Touré.
Okay.
Wrap it, put it in the husk. Of course, you gotta let your husk sit in water, kind of let it air dry a little bit, but you want it moist.
Yep, absolutely. And
they can steam. It depends on how many you have in your pot, but they can steam from 45 to almost 2 hours. So it really depends. So when I make 165, they normally cook almost 2.5 hours, 3.
Wow, so it takes that long to cook.
Yeah, because you want it to be where it's peeling off the husk, where if it's sticking, that means it's not done.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then when you reheat them, you just want to wrap them in a wet, damp cloth if you don't have a steamer at home. You can put it right in the microwave for no more than, if it's cold, maybe 60 seconds. And if some people buy them and they freeze them, you're looking at, if it's frozen, you're looking at more 90 seconds to about a minute and a half.
And what kind of is it? You use a pot? You use a skillet? How do you
It's
do
a
that?
pot.
It's a
So
pot.
it's a steamer, and it's designed for tamales as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you put a little bit of water at the bottom, and then it has like a grill that you sit the tamales on, and you just sit them upright. That's about it.
Okay, so you can't use just any kind of equipment. You got to have the right equipment. And
well, now they have, and I also use my the Instant Pot, where you can cook everything. You can use that too.
Instant Pot, you can do everything in Instant Pot.
Yeah, Instant Pot, you can do it, but I don't like it in Instant Pot because it takes longer and it's wet more. So I like the regular pot. Put it on the stove, do it the old-fashioned way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what's up. And then, of course, you can get them with, the fillings can be a variety of things, whatever your desire and flavor is.
Well, not what your desire is. Chicken or chicken, chicken, cilantros and carrots, or beans and cheese.
You can't put anything else in there?
I mean, you can, but we're not that. I mean, you got 3 options. So
we telling people how to make it at home. They might want to put.
I mean, you can do anything. It's how
some
you
beef
want
jerky
it.
in there or something. I don't know.
I think I want to try a jerk.
Jerk inside that tamale. That would sound good.
I want to try a jerk.
Oh, you're gonna mess around.
And I
you're gonna mess around, be the tamale lady in a minute.
I also want to try
Sissy's tamales.
I want to try lamb.
Lamb in there.
And shred it. Yeah.
That sounds good.
So take the lamb shoulder and kind of stew it, and then shred it a little bit.
Hold on, you might be on to something. You might be on to something there. You might be a whole different world in a minute.
Yeah, so I do want to try the lamb. See how it comes out. If it's tasty, moist, depends.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. So listen, it's 11:30, and we have our guests ready to come on, but it is that time to take our break right before we come to our next guest. So y'all stay tuned and get ready for an amazing conversation with, man, a straight up urban cowboy, Brother Patrick Muhammad.
WIFTBPM.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Peace, everybody out there. What's going on? This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner Terrence Tomlin, a.k.a. T-Tom the Great, out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media Network.
WIFTBPM.
This is Mix La Production.
All right. We are back. This is the Touré Muhammad Show, and I have my wonderful co-host Linda Perez, and we are here with another episode on What's In It for the Black People Media. And brothers and sisters, listen, let me tell you something. Land is considered an important resource because it can we can put it to use for various purposes, right? We're talking about agriculture. We're talking about forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up industries. Now, I'm just talking about this stuff, but we got somebody on that's going to, he's about that farm life. You okay? Uh-oh, what you need over there?
Land makes me emotional too.
Right, land makes you right. It brings you tears, brings tears to your eyes.
Love it.
So you've always talked about living on the farm, huh?
I always dreamed. Oh, sorry guys. I always dreamed of living on the farm and having my own. So that's a goal because I can be retired and enjoy my land.
All right. Well, we got somebody great for you to talk to today. And as I introduce him, let me say that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that land is the basis of independence. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, for the ex-slave, land ownership is the basis of independence, the pathway to wealth. And today we have a brother who is in that pathway, man. And for many of us, he is one of those leading the path. We have Patrick Muhammad, the principal farmer here on the Touré Muhammad Show of Your Faith Farms, all the way out of the Georgia area, near Atlanta, Georgia. Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you all?
Brother Patrick, we are doing well today. It's good to see your face. And I see
likewise.
I see some grass. Some trees behind you. So I know that you are in a place with plenty of sunshine today.
And unfortunately, it becomes our norm, and I forget what it's like to live pretty much in the city. So it's interesting. But I don't want to start the show without saying assalamu alaikum to you all.
Walaikum
Um,
salam.
and and thank you for the honor to be able to continue to bear witness to the teaching of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I say that because it would be no reason for me to be a guest on your show if I did not follow an instruction from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan given in 2013 from the video Time of What Must Be Done, number 36. If we wouldn't have taken action from that video, Brother Tory and Sister Linda, I'm just a brother that's in Atlanta. There would be no reason to have this conversation. But 7 years later, from following that instruction, I do have information and a life story that I know is worth sharing. So thank you.
Man, absolutely. So, man, let's start. What was that instruction?
The minister in the video, forming as the engine for our national life, the minister said, by land, they can't make any more. And that short statement hit me like a ton of bricks. And so we got off the video, and I told my wife, I said, the minister told me to buy land. She said, brother, he was talking to the whole nation. I said, no, the minister told me to buy land.
Come on.
And it became a daily cadence. And so the way the creator works, I just began to talk about it. I'm living in a subdivision, living a comfortable middle class life, driving a Mercedes and, 3-story house and a different suit on that, living what they think, they say is you've made it. And from that moment until we began our journey, all I talked about was land. I literally put 100,000 miles on my Mercedes looking for land in the metro Atlanta area because that's how much it impacted us. And so after the minister's video, I met a gentleman by the name of Wayne Swanson and Swanson Family Farm. And I walked his farm. He had 36 acres. He was about 39 years old. And I was waiting for him to tell me that somebody died or there was an insurance claim, and that's how he got the 36 acres. And Brother Tory, listen to what he told me. He said, my family and I saved our money and ate soup for a couple months. Well, that's our teachings. I'm supposed to be eating soup every day.
That's right.
And so what his quick story said to me was, it's doable. Okay, and I want your listening audience to hear this. It's doable, right?
Yes, sir.
And so from that point on, he said, if you're interested, come to my farm. I'll show you how to do it. And lo and behold, he's held his word from that moment to this day. A month later, a couple of brothers and I bought 8 cows and put them on his land. We had zero experience. And we began to go out there every weekend. And those 8 cows turned into 12 cows. And about 5 months from there, my family and I purchased 31 acres. And we moved from a 30-foot yard subdivision to a 31-acre farm with zero experience. Only faith, thus the name Your Faith Farms. Now, I must say, I'm a fellow resident from Illinois. I'm from East St. Louis, Illinois. Born and raised in the boogie. I know what it's like to live in the inner city, right?
Right.
And my mom would tell me that when I was young, I would say, Mom, I'm going to have a house so big, I'm going to have a dolphin in the backyard. And they would never stifle those, outlandish thoughts. But it just to let you know where the mind was, that we needed the capacity to do more.
Come on.
And 7 years later, family, we live on 31 acres. Our 8 cows turned into about 40 cows. We have about 60 sheep, about 25 horses. We do gardens year round. And Brother Tory, since this moment with the minister and those that have visited the farm, there are 13 more Muslim families and non-Muslim families that have purchased and are living on farms because of the experience of coming to our farm.
Man, that's absolutely beautiful.
So your background, So your background is in education and book publishing. Did you and your
Yes,
family
I'm a
have
principal
any
by trade.
background? Okay.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm a principal by trade, sis. Sister Linda, we're that family that you know how you get the plant from a funeral and they say it will never die. You'll remember your family member. We killed that plant. Like I was that family that I worked so much as a principal that they would come and find me because my dog needed water. Like when I say no experience, no experience. The goldfish was in trouble at our house. But by God's grace, daily, I'm responsible for, the five of us in our family, but I'm responsible for about 97 lives every day. From my chickens to my cats to my dogs to the horses to the sheep to my donkey named Freedom. Yes. So
So the donkey, you named
that
the donkey
following that
Freedom,
one,
huh?
yeah, my donkey's name is Freedom. So we have 31 acres and a mule. We'll get the other 9 acres later on.
Go ahead.
Yes, yes. And so I want to just reiterate this point. I know you're going to say, brother, you're repeating yourself, but I want your listening audience to know it's doable. You can purchase, Sister Linda, that farm. You can live on a farm. You can provide food for your family. When COVID hit and people couldn't go to the grocery stores, my wife and I walked out our front door, went down to our garden, and we picked salad every morning for our dinner every day. I went to the freezer and I pulled out lamb, Sister Linda, the lamb you were talking about. I pulled out lamb that I raised and saw every day of his life and was there when it gave his life to sustain our lives. And we pulled that out of the freezer. It can be done.
Absolutely.
Man, this is so beautiful. So, the experience, of course, of going from not having any experience to putting your attention towards it and growing, how has this changed your mindset, your outlook on life in general? Because, like you said, this is much different now. We're used to going to the store to get what we need, but you're able to go into your front yard, into your own freezer, and see something that you brought from beginning to that final stage. Does the food taste different? Is there what? Just talk about that experience.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing like going out and cracking a piece of okra off the stem and eating it right there on the spot, right? We used to that church's fried chicken okra that got that
Right,
grease
right, with all the
coming out of
grease
it,
on it.
right? No, I'm talking about a piece of okra that's as fresh as it could be. I'm talking about picking cherry tomatoes for your snack as you're cutting your grass, right? And one of a couple of principles that has really stuck with us is life and death travel on the same road. All day long, life's task is to outwit death.
Come on.
Death's task is to outwit life. And that union is important. While it's a trial for the one with the life, it's necessary for the threat of death to be there to sustain the one trying to hold on to its life. And so you'll see, in order for the next seeds to come from that plant that you yielded a harvest all year, it has to die. And as it's dying, it produces more seeds for more life. But if it never has that experience of death, you will not get those seeds. When I see a young calf in the morning and it gets that first milk from its mother, and the mother is nudging it to get up, and she has to eat and consume the afterbirth because the coyotes and the turkey vultures are coming. And you see the amount of love that a mother has for her new life, that she would consume the afterbirth because it's necessary for that life that she just given birth to be able to get up and move and don't have the threat of death coming quicker, right? And so the beauty of death is that we experience it on the farm. You see a chicken in the morning, that chicken afternoon might not be moving. You plant that harvest, you get that weather, and that plant is gone, right?
Right.
And so my family and I have learned how to cherish life even more, through this experience. The other thing of that is when the scripture says that we have dominion over the fish and the fowl and the beast. I have a 10-year-old son that now can walk into a barn and command the attention of a 1,900-pound bull.
Wow.
He can take his horse and bring his horse, and with a little string lead line, take that horse all around the farm. I saw my middle child yesterday. I was coming up to the house and I see him riding his prize horse down the driveway without any nudging from his father. I see my daughter being able to take the beautiful sunrises and sunsets and the flowers blooming and capture that in film. And so I'm getting able to see my wife in the you say, which of the bounties of Allah will you deny? I get to see her in her full bounty, enjoying and canning things that we grew right from our house. And then I get a chance to see you all. The reason it's named Your Faith Farms is not mine, it's yours. We're obligated to sustain this farm as an inspiration for you because it's yours. So we want for our brother and sisters what we want for ourselves. So we have an open forum where people come and enjoy themselves and spend time so they can get motivated to go do it themselves. Sister Linda, there's land outside of Chicago that has your name on it. And all
That's
you
right.
have to do is claim it, because the level of peace that we have when you wake up and the amount of noise that you hear is the noise you create.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
So now I understand when they say that Master Farad Muhammad could speak the language of the birds. I listen to my birds and I can tell you the difference between the cardinal and the sparrow and the hawk and the owl and the vulture, right? I can sit and I can tell you the difference between the lamb saying, I'm missing my mommy, and the lamb saying, I'm in trouble. Where is my mommy? Right?
Wow.
I can stand in my driveway and call my cows 30 acres away, and from my voice, they come running.
That's beautiful.
A brother from East St. Louis
Man,
ain't supposed to be able to have that dominion.
come on.
But
Man, that's
when we
amazing.
experience the form life, then we get a chance to see Allah has given us permission to have some type of rulership over the things he has created.
That's it. That's it.
Man.
Every time I wake up at 2, it's like Allah. He say, claim it. Say my name. It's yours.
That's right. That's right.
You're right.
That's right.
It's absolutely right. And
That's
I've been
right.
claiming it,
And
and it's just been happening.
and claim it. And I tell you all, don't we would think, oh, you got to have $1 million. And man, it's too educated. My wife's a second grade teacher. I was a principal, right? We saved like 2 months of our mortgage and was like, hey, this is our down payment. Don't make it harder than what it really is. Okay.
Mhm.
You're buying a house with a big yard. It just happens to be 31 acres. Brother Ghazi Muhammad just closed on 24 acres out here in Villa Rica. I just walked
Wow.
a family last week on another 25 acres with a grass-fed, with a spring-fed lake, who met me on a homeschool visit to the farm, and now they're selling their multi-million-dollar subdivision house and buying a farm, right?
Come on.
So
But hey,
don't think that you got
Brother
to hit
Anthony
the
Muhammad
lottery.
is tuning in, and he said he just got a few acres.
Yes, brother Anthony Muhammad is right down the road from my school. Beautiful brother, him and Sister
Wow.
Karima
This is all
Renee.
in Atlanta.
Now they have acres, and they're going to be
Yep.
growing their food right on their property, right? So being it is sitting right there at that beautiful studio that you have. You the be and the it is. You can make it happen.
Come on. I love it.
So I have a question. What
Yes,
is your
ma'am.
day? Like, do you wake up at 3 in the morning?
Yeah. So my day is, and one thing that prior to the farm and who I am as a person, like I have to give you the real. That's who makes me who I am. I'm not one of those to give you no fluff and add, any yeast to it. So sis, I get up about 4:45 to say my prayers at 5 o'clock. Because even on the farm, ain't nothing gonna move until we thank Allah.
That's
So
right.
we get up and we say our prayers right about 5 o'clock. We're finished about 5:30. And then I do a phantom walk of the farm. And what I mean by that is I'm just going out to see how many eyes I see and if there's any different sounds that I need to hear. Because the form doesn't sleep, right? There's a whole nother life cycle that happens at night called predators. And
Right.
while everybody resting, the predators come in: the chicken hawk, the owl, the coyote, the raccoon, the possums. They come at night. So that first walk is just to see what's going on. If there's anything I need to do immediately, is there a cow in the road, a horse got out, the dogs and chase something, that kind of stuff. Then I come in and get my family ready for the day, and we all begin to disperse. But before I leave to go to my school, now I'm doing my real walk. I'm going to check the eggs, see how many eggs we have in the morning. I might pick them in the morning. I might not pick them in the morning. Make sure all my fences are closed, right? Because a farm with open fences is a headache, right? Make sure my fencing. If I need to turn the irrigation on in the garden to make sure that the plants are getting the nourishment before the sunrise comes up. And then overall, just, feeling the pulse. And honestly, I mean, feeling the pulse of the farm. At a certain point, you get to where I can tell if a tree is down in the midst of the forest because I have that mental snapshot in my mind. I can tell when there's a difference. And then in the afternoon, that's when the grind happens. When I come home, if there's any tilling in the garden, if there's any harvesting, if there's any helping, and if there's any calving or anything needs to be fed, that's when it happens in the afternoon.
And so do your children, do they help you daily?
Yes, my children help me daily. My middle child is my main source of help, but my other two children have the aspects of help as well, and then my wife helps. And I do have some brothers and sisters
Something about
that
those
do
middle
come by the
children, boy.
farm. Yeah, that middle
They
child.
work
There's something about
harder.
that middle child.
Yep, they
Something about that
got
middle
both
child.
from both worlds.
Yeah, 'cause
Mhm.
I have my 3 boys, and they work with me in the Sissy Taco Bar. And they just took their eFood learning card. Now they want to take more. But that middle one, he already told them, I'm the person in charge.
Right.
And he's like, that's
Yeah.
me. So, but I
That's
love
me.
it because we're
Mhm.
teaching them something now for their future. And if you want to take
Absolutely.
over, you know it. If something happens to me, if I end up in a hospital, you know exactly how to run that business without me being there. And it's critical that we teach our children that. I mean, it's critical.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. And one of the things that I've learned that really sticks with me is we've been able to overcome fear.
Mm.
And I say that there's a video that the minister talks about when he was, I want to say maybe in Phoenix, and he was walking down the road and a bull was there.
Yes,
I think that's Fear, Faith, and Truth, right?
I believe so.
And so when you hear a man like that, describe a story, you know, you, you see the power in him, so you see his power. In addition to that, what we have learned in our experience is the form makes you man up and woman up.
Absolutely.
What I mean by that is we have a level of darkness at night, y'all. Oh, there's a
Yes.
different darkness because ain't no street lights,
Right, that's right.
right? We have a level of sound that's different because you don't hear the horns blowing, but you
That's
hear
right.
that coyote wailing, right? You hear that thing screaming at night that you don't know what kind of scream that was, right? You go into the chicken coop, Sister Linda, to get the eggs for the morning, and there's a snake right there that's getting eggs in the morning too, right? You go into the stall to tell the bull to get into the trailer. He say, I ain't going in the trailer today. And he lowers his head, right? And so there's a level of overcoming fear that places you into another point in your growth to where you can remove fear from your life. And so that has transcended into other things that my family does now.
Come on.
So when there's a task, meet and overcome all obstacles in our path, we face our obstacles a lot differently now, right? We see the other side of the obstacle and not the obstacle because we know we have the skill set now to overcome all obstacles in our path.
Absolutely.
And so those kind of life lessons, I would never have gotten it if I was still living in my subdivision with the marble countertops in the basement. Don't nobody go in. That other restroom ain't nobody use. the neighbor that
Right.
you pass by blowing, going down the driveway, we would never have experienced that.
Absolutely.
Man, that's wonderful.
And
I love it.
I grew up in the country a little bit, and I love that. I love the lifestyle, and I want to experience, but I want my children to experience that. So,
Yes.
I mean, you got me on fire because I just
did.
wrote, I am ready for
Oh,
my
praise be
farmland.
to God.
I claim it.
You got to claim
Yes,
that farmland.
yes,
And you
Because-
took me back, Brother
Yes,
Patrick. You reminded me of a lesson I learned in high school.
Mhm.
And you're put into a different context now because I moved from the city where I was comfortable walking through alleys and walking down rough streets any time of day or
Mhm.
night. And the first time I moved, I was in College Park, Georgia. I'll never forget. And I was walking at night by myself, and my heart was trembling because, like you said, there were no street lights, and you heard all these animal
Yeah.
sounds that you don't hear
Yeah.
on 79th Street in
Mhm.
Chicago.
Come on now.
And I was
Come on now.
terrified. I said, man, what is wrong with me? Why am I so afraid?
Yeah. I told
But
somebody the other
that's
day
a whole different world.
I told someone the other day I have form ADHD. Meaning, like you could be talking to me in full conversation. I'm gonna pause you because I just saw that hawk going down, about to catch that meal. And I love the beautiful spiraling motion of the hawk. And I'm gonna stop what I'm doing to experience that.
To experience,
When I
that's
see that
beautiful.
hummingbird coming by, I'm stopping what I'm doing to marvel at the bounties of Allah and to see the mighty flight pattern of that hummingbird. When I see the bees, I don't grab the bug spray. I'm following that bee to see where he's going or she's going to find that nectar because I need to add more flowers like that so I can continue to see more bees, right? And so it's a different
It's a different
aspect.
mindset.
Now we're looking, how we were taught to filter everything we hear through the ears and lens of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes.
I'm learning how to filter everything in life's creation through the eyes of Allah and why did he create it the way he did. And so the beauty of his creation is now what we get a chance to wonder on.
And so now you're making me think more. I'm sure you see and can read differently, even reading the Holy Quran when it talks about the cattle, the cow, the bee,
Yes.
all these aspects of nature. I know that's a different experience, a different perspective. And
Family, let me just share this point that just to bear witness to what you said. So after year 3, we started processing our cows for meat consumption.
Mhm.
And I raised these animals. I called them by name.
Right.
But now it was time for them to give their life. And so it took me a couple times to realize that my animals were just as in tune with us. It got to a point, Brother Muhammad and Sister Linda, I would open up my trailer, call my herd of cows, and I would walk away and let them select who will go into the trailer to give their life. Now, I ain't no spooky brother. I ain't no person that
Brother
said I done
Patrick,
seen that.
wow.
I ain't that. I'm telling you that my cows would decide whose time, to the point to when we would get to the processor and it was time to get out. And you can check Brother Eric Touré Muhammad, he'll bear witness. He went with me to drop off Medea, one of my cows. When she got out the trailer, brother, she was crying, I was crying, and Eric Touré Muhammad was crying.
Wow.
Because she knew at this time, Brother Patrick, it's time for me to give my life to sustain yours. And here I am. Do with me what you must. And that's the power that Allah has given us if we submit to do his will.
That's right.
And that goes back to when I was maybe 16. I went to a slaughterhouse for a field trip.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, and that's when I became a vegetarian for a second. But they showed us how they slaughter the pigs. But they're smart because when they lift that door up, they all ran. They wasn't ready. And they had to pull it to get them coming. And then they all ran. I'm like, they knew exactly what was happening when that door opens. They knew their life was ending.
Ending.
The shock and awe.
The shock and awe. So we're going to go to a break in just a few seconds here. But you all, this highlights, Brother Patrick, and of course I know you talk about this and you see it from a whole different perspective. We should not eat meat that has not been sacrificed in the proper way, because the fear in an animal being slaughtered produces a poison in that animal's body that now you consume that. But you just took it to a whole nother level, because when I hear the halal process, there's a prayer being said, and then there is the calmness. But you just took it to another level where the animal itself is deciding to sacrifice itself.
That's beautiful,
man. So that's even more than being willing to. That's another step of willingness, I should say. Yes. That's amazing. So look, we got to go to a quick break. Brother Patrick, we appreciate you on this. Stay with us for a few more minutes. I hope you got a few more minutes, and let's keep this conversation going.
WIFTBPM.
My name is Cassandra J. Matz, current Village of Olympia Fields trustee and your candidate for Village President of Olympia Fields. I've been a resident of Olympia Fields for 28 years. I believe in building strategic partnerships, establishing governance boundaries, and have and will continue to dedicate my life's work as a respected and credible voice when it comes to decision making. Olympia Fields has always been a community of familiarity and comfort, and I want to make sure the village stays that way. On Tuesday, April 6th, vote Cassandra J. Matz for your Olympia Fields Village President. Paid for by Citizens for Cassandra J. Matz.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
WIFTBPM.
This is
WIFTBPM. WIFTBPM. WIFTBPM.
All right. We are back.
Yes, we are back. Welcome to the Touré Muhammad show, and we're going to bring our guest back on. I think it was a disconnection, but
yeah, he got knocked out, but he's coming back on. He's logging back in.
I mean, this conversation just making me smile the whole show, because I love stuff like this. And I've always been saying I want to move to Atlanta. Just didn't know what part. I kept saying Savannah. People's like, you don't want to go to Savannah, but I want to go somewhere where it's land. And I have my big porch so I can drink my sweet tea too.
So that sweet tea and that porch is very doable. And, I I want that country life. I want that farm life.
I do.
But I don't want to be too far from the city. I like something in Atlanta where you're still about 20, 30 minutes away.
Got
You know.
daycare, real estate, restaurant. Now we need the farmland.
Come on. So that's an amazing conversation we're having with our brother, and he is back. There we go.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Now,
So
I gave all these positives, right? Let me give you the negative.
yeah, let's hear some. Hear some of the negatives. How much do you got to step in?
Right. I have terrible Wi-Fi.
That's negative.
Yeah. It's horrific, right? I did hear you when I was coming back in. Just to your point, let me tell you this. It takes me 12 minutes to get to Atlanta's airport. It takes me 14 minutes to get to the mosque. It takes me 18 minutes to get downtown.
I love it.
Right? So the key to it, family, is don't take your mind to Little House on the Prairie. It takes me 3 minutes to get to the grocery store, Publix.
Yes, sir.
Right? So we're it says modern technology. Let's find acreage to where your family's life routine does not change. My children were able to go to the same school, the same gas station, the same road, because strategically we found farmland that fit our current lifestyle.
Beautiful.
So what I'm saying to you, family, is,
wise.
Sister Linda, we can find you 25 acres that's probably around the corner from your current house. You just been passing by it, but you didn't see it yet. You know how you start looking at that new Kia Telluride? And then when you look at it online, now you see one every day?
Yep.
Right.
Before then, you didn't see it, right?
Right.
So you're passing by your land, you just haven't seen it yet. So it's time to wipe the spittle from those eyes.
There you go.
Man, I love it. So, I mean, you talk a little bit about, of course, the heroes. We heard about the heroes on horseback. What is that about?
Yes. And we have an invitation for you the next time you're in Atlanta. What the heroes on horseback is, people are doing their podcasts and the interviews, and I could have someone come and sit on a lawn chair at the farm, but that wouldn't give the true aspect of it. The reason we do our interviews on horseback is we interview business owners, entrepreneurs, educators, etc. But we do it on horseback because many of our adult members are afraid of horses. We're plagued in our community. Black folks can't swim, right?
Right.
You can't swim, you ain't never been on a horse. The horse gonna buck you off. You ain't even been on a horse. How you know the horse gonna buck you off, right? And so what I do is I take people who have accomplished large feats in their arena, meaning business, etc. And in a moment's time, I help them to overcome their fear of the horse. Now we're riding the horse. Now I'm interviewing on the back of a horse.
Wow.
And so it gives us just a different perspective. We've had the opportunity to have Brother Ben X as one of our heroes on horseback, his business partner, Jake Taylor.
Yes. I saw
we've had him as one of our guests. We've had some local, and we're waiting for you, Brother Muhammad, to come on down and interview you on horseback. But overcoming that fear, I tell you one thing I did a couple of weeks ago. A young lady, I say young, she was 74 years old, and the other young lady was 72 years old, and on their bucket list was to get on a horse. And the thing that I enjoy and who I am, it took me about an hour and a half to get both of those ladies on the horse. And they only rode for maybe 4 minutes after they got on. But they can rest, saying that I've overcome a fear that's been plaguing me all my life. Now, what other fears they have, they'll face those fears differently because of this small feat of getting on the back of this horse. And as we continue to transcend those accomplishments over to other aspects of our lives, there won't be any trials that we won't be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Man, I love it. Heroes on horseback, and man, having some phenomenal people like that on. It's totally amazing.
So I have a question. What did it actually cost you to start a farm?
Absolutely. And that's the key about having Brother Patrick, because I'm gonna tell you actual facts, right? So my subdivision house was $385,000. I had a 30-foot yard. It was 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, right?
Mm-hmm.
My farm with my main house and my apartment house, that's my mother's retirement house from East St. Louis, and 31 acres cost me 275 in 2014. Okay.
You talking
And
about
That's what my house is.
right,
yeah,
much
yeah,
substantially less than what you were already paying.
yes. And guess what? When I first got there, I sold $8,000 worth of trees.
Mm-hmm.
You say that manure I'm
That's right.
stepping
That
in?
forestry.
Yeah, I step in the manure, bro. But guess what? I sell $15 cow manures for a 5-gallon bucket. See,
Wow.
people going to Home Depot and buying black
And
cows, but
buy
just go to a black farmer and buy mine,
right. Wow.
right?
Look at that.
I sell pecans from 30-year-old trees that fall in my front yard. I pick up the pecans. I sell the pecans for $7 a bag,
Wow.
right? And so the entrepreneur side that you all have,
Mm-hmm.
when you kick it into high gear on your land, I had a soccer program on my house for 4 years. I had 400 children playing soccer on a cow pasture. There's 18 girls in college right now with full soccer scholarships by playing soccer at their brother who bought a farm, crazy enough to buy a farm, had us playing on a cow pasture, and our colleges paid for free.
Beautiful.
Man.
Those are the things that you can do once you step out and own the land.
See, you're just opening up. I hope people are listening, and I'm hoping that
People
I'm
are
paying
sharing.
attention as well to this, because this is so amazing, Brother Patrick. You're talking about the opportunities that open up just with having the land.
The land. You can do so much.
It's so many
Yeah,
things that you can do once you have the land. Opportunities open up to you.
yeah.
So, man, this is so mind blowing. And you haven't even talked about. I'm sure you can't. Your family can't eat all the eggs and eat all the other things that you produce.
Yeah, from the
Um,
eggs to the meat to our well has 7.4 alkaline water coming out of the ground. We
whoa,
don't buy alkaline water. We have a 700-foot well that has 7.4 alkaline water coming out of our sink.
Beautiful.
man, that's
I'm moving
absolutely
to
amazing.
Atlanta. I'm ready.
Come
So when
on,
you
come
talk
on.
about sustainability, what do you have pretty much everything except for the internet, strong internet.
Right, strong.
But you have everything that you need to survive.
That's it.
Yes.
And we need to
Do,
get away
do,
from the internet anyways.
yeah. Do y'all remember recently when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about we're not taking that vaccine? We
Yes,
ain't got to get on your plane. We can stay at home. Listen, you all. He gave us an instruction a while ago
that's right.
to make our homes a decent place to live. We should be canning, right?
That's right.
We should have food stored up.
That's right.
Then we wouldn't have to go nowhere.
That's right.
If many of us have had purchased our farmland, honestly, we don't have to go anywhere, right? If they told me, "Oh, you can't work if you don't get no shot," or "You can't travel if you don't get no shot," well, okay,
Okay.
thank you, man. I'm ride my horse every day, plant my garden, have fun with my family, right?
That's right.
So it's a necessity. I would say it's a necessity. So when people get this little stimulus, don't go blow that stimulus on some new
Oh
Jordans.
my
I
That's
would
right.
say
God.
That's right.
find
It's
a
already
way
crowded.
that you can make that money grow and then put it in the land.
That's
Because the
right.
one piece, I won't share the number because my wife will get me. But the other piece of, yeah, I somebody else has dominion at Your Face Farms. Um, when land value increases, now think about that. So in 2014, I purchased 31 acres at that price. This is
Mm-hmm.
2021, right? If I had to sell, it's 5 to 6 times the value,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so acquiring land is another reason you can hold it. If you ain't ready to do nothing, just hold it
Let's hold it.
until
Right.
you're ready. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm so amazed and excited. Um, when you talk about the land itself, right? So people, I just got, Brother Patrick, I just earned my real estate license. And so
Uh-oh, come on now.
I'm learning about land. So they were explaining to us that when you purchase land, you own everything from the surface of the land down to infinity
Mineral
and
rights.
everything up into the
Yep.
sky,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And anything that is on the land, of course, that is natural to the land is yours. And you have this opportunity to, if you wanted to, give surface rights to someone for a certain acre, air rights to someone else for something else, right? And of course, anything under it. So you have all these opportunities, like we were talking about earlier. When you talk about and you look at what you have, 31 acres is a lot. But even someone, let's say someone started off with, to give people an idea of what space looks like, even 1 acre is pretty big, right? And what
1
can you
acre
do with
is a
just 1 acre
football.
of land?
Right. As a picture, 1 acre is a football field.
That's pretty big.
Okay, that's 1 acre. That's how you look at it. And what you said in like the mineral rights and the air rights, you could add solar power. You could have a solar field. You could sell your solar panels. You could rent your solar panels. We haven't done this, but there's farms that have added cell phone towers and get that monthly check from T-Mobile and AT&T by having a tower on your property, right? So there are other aspects of the farm that an entrepreneur can truly free themselves with the land. And let me say this: you don't have to start off with 30. That just we happen to find that one. You can start off with 1, 2, 5, 8, 10. You go get 1,000 if you can. But the most important thing is you got to start.
You got to start.
Grow something in your windowsill this spring, right? After you eat that avocado, take the seed out. You know, it's seeds and stuff that we eat, right? I wonder why.
Right.
Start saving those seeds, y'all. Dry them out. See if you can grow something in your windowsill. Okay. Go ahead and get a goldfish. See if you can take care of their life. Okay. And then we're gonna grow from that. We're gonna go from a goldfish, then we can go to the store and get us a couple chickens. You can get a couple chickens and put them in your house right now. The little baby chickens. See if you can keep them alive. Learn how to do that, and then grow from there. And so I don't encourage everybody to take the leap of faith like we did. We've been blessed, but you can walk your way into it. And brother, with your real estate license, you can begin to walk them into it. Now, let me give you $1 million. And I'm gonna have to. I hear something. I hear an animal calling me in the background. But let me give you $1 million before I go.
Yes, sir. I'm
You
sitting
ready?
up. I'm sitting up.
Okay. Sister Linda, you listening?
I'm listening. All ears.
Okay. Here's your $1 million. You're gonna take your real estate license, and you're gonna begin to look for land that has 1, 2, 5 acres. Okay. You're gonna find respectable houses, right? With those 1, 2, or 5 acres. Instead of trying to sell that house, you're going to take your time. You're going to consult brothers like myself, brothers in Chicago and sisters in Chicago that have the farming experience. What you're going to do is prepare the land. You're going to go ahead and get them about 5 chickens. You're going to build their raised beds. You're going to go ahead and get the seeds in the ground. And if it's large enough, you go ahead and get that milking cow for them, or you're going to get that those lamb or those quails on their property. And you're going to sell turnkey farms, meaning I'm Sister Linda. I'm ready to get my farm. I want to get that key from you at the closing, and I want to go to my ready-made farm. You do that and have it ready for them is a multi-million-dollar operation.
I heard you loud and clear.
I love it.
1 to 3 acres, 8 acres, ready-to-made farms.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Ready-made
because you
farms.
can do so much on your own land.
Man.
So much.
Absolutely.
Even if you have like non-for-profit organization, women groups, mentors, I mean, you can build your little section for that. So many things. Like I can visualize my whole little farm because I love to help people.
My wife has a she shed that's 12 by 32 is her personal gym. She has a sister in the mosque to come and train her. On the weekend, it turns into our store. And in the summer, it turns into my middle child's grill. So he's doing lamb sliders for the summer. Right?
Ooh,
You can
come on.
multitask. You can
Man,
multitask.
I love it.
Well,
Man,
if you
but-
can share with your listening audience, just to follow us on Your Faith Forums on all of your platforms. If we can help, we will help. This is not a family. I'm obligated because of the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to spread this message. If I can help you, I will help you, right? My biggest flaw is I might be overextended because I'm probably helping 120 people at one time. But I'm going to help you some kind of way and point you in the right direction. Time and What Must Be Done, number 36. If you all watch that, it will change your life. And I thank you all so much for having opportunity to be. And I love y'all's background. Like, I got to find the section at the farm to put that background.
Man, isn't it beautiful, man? It's a great artist
Yeah.
that put this together for here. What's in it for the Black People Media Studio. And, man, it
Yeah.
gives you inspiration and motivation every time you walk in.
It's so bright.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, we appreciate you, Brother Patrick. Thank you for coming
Thank
on the
you.
show and
Thank you,
sharing
thank
your
you.
insights, your experience. And if we don't pull, but if you just, brothers and sisters, just pull one thing from what he said, he listened to the encouragement, the advice, the admonishment from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and got into farming because of that with no experience. He can do it. He's paved the way, and we can do it as well.
Yes, sir. May Allah bless you all to fulfill the desires of your heart and what God has in store for you and yours.
Thank you, beloved. Assalamu alaikum.
All right. Wa alaikum salam, family. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, Touré, that segment was dope. Our guest speaker gave a lot of information. I just hope our people use it. And sometimes we're so caught up with material and what we want. Like he said, what he paid for is what I paid for my house, and it's not that big. I mean, it's a 6-bedroom, but it's not that much land. It's front and back, and that's it. My kids can't go out in the backyard because it's so small. But I did learn, 2 years ago, I started my own little garden in the back where I was planting my stuff, but I was trying it. I was like, I never did this. Let me try it. But I did good. And it harvests very well. It was cilantro. It was all herbs. And I was using it and giving it some to the neighbors. So that's where you start at. And I just made a small little section.
That's right.
I didn't do it in pots. I wanted to do it in the bed and build it because, you can't use Chicago's dirt, people. It's contaminated. So you want to make a bed.
That's right. You make you a bed, right, with your own dirt that you cultivate.
Yes.
Man, it's so exciting. And we want to continue this conversation. We want to find some other people that we can bring on. We have some people here in Chicago who have been learning and teaching farming as well, so that people can, like Brother Patrick said, right, at the mosque we have a small area where it's a micro farm. Food is grown over there. There's some livestock over there.
It's just beautiful.
And you go over to the mosque sometime and you're right there on 73rd and Stony Island, and if you listen, you hear chickens.
Yes.
Right? So right there. So we have some brothers and sisters that can help in that regard. And thank you, Brother Anthony posted the Facebook page, Your Faith Farms, and he's another one by way of Chicago that's in Atlanta and has some acreage, him and his family. And so we're going to bring some folks on because we have people who can teach urban, right? So if you find something right next to you, or like you said, that little space that you have in your home, you can start where you are. Absolutely. And growing stuff outside, some stuff in the windows, and get that practice. But if this pandemic is not shown to us, and I'm so thankful and appreciative for the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the lessons from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because some people saw the Nation of Islam a lot of the members being kind of calm through this pandemic and being kind of, I don't want to say very cognizant of what's going on and already have a response and an answer, right? Because this is, even though there was a shock of it happening, we have been talking about and striving to prepare ourselves. So, people in the Nation of Islam and other people who have learned the importance of stocking up, right? Because I know you talked about being involved in groups that talked about stocking things up for emergencies that you don't know could happen, right? So we've always been, even with my children, when they were growing up, We stockpiled water. We had water stored that we would rotate gallons of water, but always had something stored. But look, I mean, we were doing that since they were children. You talking about 15, 20 years, never having to use it.
Absolutely.
And then once it hits, right?
Yeah, she said, always stock up, baby, because you never know. And I remember one winter we had so much snow, and I didn't do it. And me and my son didn't have anything in the house, not water, not milk, not cereal, nothing. We had to go to the gas station, and we had to, and the snow came up to my thigh. And I had to walk because we needed something to eat. Like, we didn't have anything. So the gas station was the closest, and that's what we did our shopping at. But ever since then, you don't see my pantry. You don't see. I got 2 refrigerators and a deep freezer.
More.
You won't catch me like that.
You gotta freeze everything.
Yeah,
salsa.
Right. Freeze it all. Freeze it.
But you have to be prepared, and it's just because even if our lights get cut off and your food goes spoiled, what else are you gonna eat? Make sure you have that in mind as well.
That's right. Oh man, there was so much we didn't get a chance to talk about. I went to ask him about what he supplies. I know he has relationships and supports Black-owned restaurants in Atlanta. Oh, yeah. So I want to hear about some of the opportunities that he provides, some of the food for those restaurants. Because that's what we've been talking about that, right? Yeah. We have our Black farmers. We got Peatone here. We have farmland in Michigan, right? Black farmers. So there's some opportunities for the farmers and the restaurants to come together and get some of that locally grown food that we have. So, but we hopefully we're going to bring him back on, or we'll get that information and share it with people.
I did have another question.
Yes. What?
Well, I mean, you're a real estate expert. I was going to ask him about USDA loans. In the rural area.
Yes, we're going to investigate that. That's a good question. Yep, getting those USDA loans to for our farmland. Right. That's absolutely got to be an angle and opportunity there, and some subsidizing, some support, some kind of way. And this is it's just a valuable conversation, because what we're talking about here, see, there are certain people who are terrified about things that they don't want to do, right? For those of us who have seen the research and done the study and want to stay away from the vaccination, but then you have pressure about, okay, you might not be able to travel. Okay, you might not be able to go here and do this, right? So if you don't want to do it, but you're concerned about what you'll be kept away from, if you have a sustainable environment where you're producing your food, you have your shelter, you have a little bit more
entertainment on your land,
right?
I mean, you have everything.
You got more to stand on to not accept what you don't want.
Absolutely.
Right, and I think that is going to be important for us going forward to continue to have the conversations around it, and continue to look at options, and even beside the vaccination conversation, just in general, right? To be able to know, right? We're going back to that, thinking about that old school way where a family didn't worry about, the mama and daddy didn't worry about how many children they had, because they had land and they had enough food. They had things they could produce. Somebody in the house learned how to sew, right? Somebody in the house knew how to deal with the crop. Somebody else had to deal with the livestock. And that's just the family took care of themselves.
Yeah, like my grandmother, she grew up in West Virginia. So she grew up in the farmland. So she had to go get the fresh eggs and fresh bacon. Like, she used to tell us, like, everything was fresh. And everything now is processed, is brought at the store, and it's been sitting there. Don't know how long. But my grandmother lived that life. And
they spraying red dye on the meat,
and then
so
my
it still looks red.
And it's interesting because my grandfather lived on, what's that, 63rd, and is that right off of Hostas? Sangamon.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be amazed. My grandfather had cabbage, greens, but also live chickens, because he used to get fined for the rooster. He's like, and he didn't care. And that was back in back in the 80s, 70s.
I think they just released that fine. They just released that restriction.
Yes, they did, because Beverly now has some. Mm-hmm. So they just released that you can now have roosters or chickens in your backyard or whatever. But yeah, so just saying that, well, my grandfather, they're from Mississippi, so they had that farm life too.
Yep. So we got to get about that life and
get back where our grandparents.
So he settled my heart. When he said he was only 13 minutes away from the airport. 15 minutes from downtown. Okay, I'm good. I don't want to be too far I want to be able to get away.
When we're going to go visit Atlanta?
So we got to do that soon. We got to make plans to get down there. And if my mom is listening, absolutely, we got to take her on that visit as well to see Your Faith Farms. So listen, it is 12:30, and we have to take a quick break. It is that time of the show for that quick break, and then we'll be right back with more of the Touré Muhammad Show after these messages.
WIFTDPM.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
I, Emmanuel Chris Welch,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois.
I ain't gonna hold the fact that he's an alpha against him. I'm not gonna hold the fact he came on my show with this Northwestern, but we made Black history. The Illinois Speaker of the House, Mr. Emmanuel Chris Welch. Mr. Speaker, welcome to What's in It for the Black People Media. How are you today, and how does it feel to be one of the most powerful men in the state of Illinois?
I couldn't miss this opportunity to come on your show and talk about this historic moment. I've recognized exactly what this means for our people. And it was Black people uniting. Women in our caucus kicked the door down. They kicked it down, but Black people united and walked right through the door. In my governing, I think it's realistic for people to expect us to continue to pursue some important legislation that's going to impact Black communities, because that's been my entire career. I look at things through an equity lens, a racial lens, specifically a Black lens. And now that we're ahead of the table, we're going to make sure that our communities receive the much needed resources that they need.
How do we actually get to participate now?
People may doubt what you say, but they believe what you do. And I'm in a position for the first time in the history of this state to help our community. And I want you to take a look at my actions and over the course of the next few months and see the answer to that very question. Want to see what's in it for the Black people? Watch my actions. I must thank 22 strong people for insisting that happened. Please acknowledge, respect, and thank the members of the Illinois House Black Caucus. Let's give them a round of applause.
Peace, everybody out there. What's going on? This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner, Terrence Tomlin, a.k.a. T-Tom the Great, out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
WIFTDPM.
This is Muxla Production.
WIFTDPM. WIFTDPM.
This is Muxla Production.
Welcome back to the Touré Muhammad Show. What's in it for the Black People Media? I know all the Chicagoans thought we got a glimpse of the springtime. I know everybody went out, got new clothes, got new spring, got little jackets, but guess what?
About shedding clothes.
It's about to come back. According to the NBC 5 News, we are going to get 1 to 5 inches by Tuesday. So close your windows again. It's coming back. It's not spring. It's still cold.
Started spring cleaning.
Yeah.
But don't stop.
Don't stop, because you
Don't
can get a head
stop.
start.
Oh no!
Like, this
Right.
is the time to clean your closets out, donate, because that's what I'm about to do, because I got too many clothes.
Keep one pair of boots out.
Yep. Keep them coats.
Keep
Don't
one
put 'em
coat
up.
out for the last minute.
Yeah. So it can't. Yeah. Cause
So
my
you
kids-
know what time it is. This is not. We talked about this.
I know, but in the world, everybody's like, it's spring. No, it's
I know.
It's not.
It's
No.
not. It's
No.
not.
No. You know, Chicago, we can get snow all the way up into April.
Right. That's right. Now
This
what
is that
happened?
weather changing too, where people
What
can get
happened with
sick.
this? Didn't it used to be? I don't hear about it as much. Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it's still there. We
It's
just
still-
don't participate. We just don't.
It happened, but
It happened.
COVID. Every day's been.
Every day's been a
COVID.
groundhog type day.
Right.
But I remember there used to be like a ceremony. It used to be all over the news where the groundhog would come out.
Yeah,
You don't
to
see
the
that.
shadow. We probably do. We just don't watch a lot of TV. Our life
I have
is so
options
busy.
now.
Right. We watching Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Right. I hear about no rat, no giant rat.
Yeah. So again, people, this is that weather where it's changed. So just make sure you dress accordingly, because if we get sick, you need to stay home. Don't go to work. Don't come in. But be mindful, this is that weather where it changes, especially for our little ones. So still bungle them up. Don't think it's nice and take them outside next day. They got runny nose.
That's right.
So
I
it's that
mean,
pneumonia weather. It's tricky.
there has never been so much pressure to not get a cold. It used to be back in the day that you don't, you figure you get a cold, you just keep moving. People go to work sick and coughing and sneezing, just bring some medicine with them, fill up with Tylenol, and people keep moving. Nowadays, don't even come out.
You can't come out.
You're a pariah to get sick now. So that's actually why I'm doing something that has been on my mind to do for a while. I kept putting it off, but I am, I hate to say stuff outwardly, because then people start looking at you and watching you. That's why I don't say I'm a vegetarian, because you might see me eating some chicken, right? Or definitely
What
some
is
fish.
this new thing? I
But
eat fish, but I'm not a vegan. Or what is this new? But I eat.
pescatarian?
Yes.
I mean, that's not new. It's
new in my
people
world?
have been
'Cause I'm
doing
just-
that. Pescatarian is people who only eat fish.
Gotcha.
Right. So, but basically what you have is this industry that's created by the different lifestyles that people have. Gotcha. So there is a need, this is what I don't like. There's a need to put labels on it. Right. I am a vegetarian. I am a vegan. I am a pescatarian. Right. You got some folks out there that they didn't went to you're a carnivore. There are some people that are, people only eat poultry and chicken. So, but then there becomes a whole lifestyle around it, right? And then people, have to learn to adhere to the label that's put on them. But at the end of the day, right, the focus is to eat properly, eat well. So some people you may have something every now and then occasionally, right? And then, but if you put that label on yourself, now you don't give yourself the freedom. Right now, I may go months without eating any meat.
Same.
But I'm not going to call myself vegetarian or vegan. But at the end of the day, one thing that we have to look at doing is no matter what we eat, whether it's meat-based or plant-based, there is so much tampering with all of our foods. Absolutely. Unless we're doing what Patrick Muhammad is doing, and we know from the seed from beginning to end what we're consuming.
Oh, wait a minute. The seed, that's tricky too now.
That's right. You gotta know what you gotta know about that seed now.
Yeah.
Because they tamper with the seeds nowadays.
Sure
we got some mad scientists in this world.
Yeah.
Right. They'll alter the seed, right? Where it don't produce or it doesn't do something, or they got seeds now you can buy with the pesticide already in it that you don't want in your food.
Oh,
Yep.
between you guys and the greener side of things, I'm just limiting what I eat now.
That's wise.
Yeah.
That's wise. Yep.
We got to be smarter, and we're learning, but it's all about educating ourselves all the time.
All the time, right? You're constantly learning and listening and seeing how things change, because it's like a shell game. If people that are focused on profit, right, are serving you something because of the profit margin, when they find out that you've learned something that is changing the way you eat, then they begin to make more stuff that's directed towards you. So that's why it's a lot more plant-based processed food out there now.
Yeah, my
they
daddy
know
had a
people
joke
are.
about my taco bar. He's like, you don't have no meat in there because I don't have steak or beef or pork. I'm like, Daddy, I do have meat.
That's
chicken.
old school. He old school right there.
He's like, no.
That's
Where's my
right.
steak tacos?
It sound like my uncle. My uncle, when I told I was in college, and I told him I wasn't eating pork anymore. He said, "Boy, you gonna die before the week out. You ain't eating no meat."
Yeah, he gonna say that's why my oldest son don't want to work there because I don't have no meat. Like, chicken is meat, right?
Right, that's meat. No red meat, right? So, but there's also the importance of not only what you eat, but regulating when you eat.
Absolutely.
Right? What we don't, and this is a lesson, this is an incredible lesson from How to Eat to Live from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He says in there, eat one meal a day is better for you, and eating every 24 hours, right? Because the longer in between eating, it gives our body a time to attack whatever bad is in the food that we ate and discard it. But if we continue to put food into our bodies and there's poison in it, and a lot of food, even the best of foods, has some issues with it, right? Then we don't give our body enough time to react.
Absolutely.
And so slower, and so here's the thing that blew me away too, that I just recently began to understand. We have an idea in our mindset, because sometimes people are overweight, that we want to increase our metabolism in order to burn off fat. Mm-hmm. But the slower our metabolism is, then it's like using a car less, right? High metabolism means you're running the car, you're putting a whole bunch of miles on it.
Right.
Slowing it down puts less miles on it, which gives the car longer lifespan. So how excited are we if we're getting a used car and the car is 10 years old, but there's only 30,000 miles on it because the owner didn't use it that much. Mm-hmm. Man, this car ain't got but 30. We excited, right? Because we know we can get a lot more miles out that car. So I'm saying all that to say, I'm eating every other day now.
So you ate yesterday, you're skipping today.
I'm skipping today.
I was making some delicious tacos today.
Well, I can eat them tomorrow. You make delicious tacos every day.
Look, we went out for your birthday yesterday. What was the conversation? It's not tacos.
It's not tacos, right?
It's not tacos. Just like he said, he ate soup. That's what we're eating is tacos.
Right, that's right. Tacos. So, but that's what I'm doing now, and I have more energy. I'm still working out. Me and one of my friends, Franco Brown, he has me on a 300 a day push-up challenge. I think it's supposed to be 350 this week. But I'm getting my push-ups in most days, and I am doing some martial arts training. So I'm saying that to say, people would think, if you're not eating 3 times a day, or you're not eating once a day, that you have some loss of strength, but you actually get more energy.
You do.
You're more alert.
I can say I eat a full meal once a day, but I might have like oatmeal in the morning and some Cheerios or my coffee, and I'm good. But that'll give me my energy for the rest of the day. And then it's like, here comes 5 o'clock. My body's like, you need to eat.
Time to eat.
And I'm proud of myself too. I haven't been drinking that much Coke.
That's good.
So, and I have been feeling a difference. Not sluggish, not tired. Well, I have no choice either. I can't be tired doing Sissy Taco Bar. So I have changed eating habits and more cautious.
Mm-hmm.
So even with my kids, it's like, make sure you got your fruit and vegetables on that plate. Before, I'm like, oh, you don't have to eat your vegetables. No, you need to make sure you have both.
Yep, that's right. Those vegetables are key to the nutritional balance that we need. So, and of course, if you're going to eat once a day, you're going to eat once every other day. There are people in the Nation of Islam that I know for years. I'm talking about one brother. It would, I think, at least 5 or 6 years, or maybe more than that. He ate once a week. Worked, I mean, he just everything about his activity and movement was normal. You didn't, because again, you think somebody eating once a week, you see them, their eyes gonna be sunken in, they're gonna look like, they're in starvation mode. But no, it was good.
No, our body has
exercising
so much
and
fat to eat and store. Like, we'll be okay.
That's right. That's
We'll be
right.
okay.
So, but yeah, that's an incredible level of discipline. But the benefits, it's like when we get off of something that is not good for us, you see the benefit of it. It's hard to go back.
It is.
Right?
It's hard.
It's very hard to go back. Peace to Shaka Strong, man. Appreciate you for tuning in. And
yeah, someone said that February 2nd he did see the shadow, and it's snowing now. So it's already snowing, people. So be safe. I don't know how much or what it looks like, but hey.
Oh, it's snowing outside right
also,
now. I
Touré,
see.
Before we go any further, I want to give a tip to business owners.
Come on.
Please, business owners, this is just a tip so you can keep happy customers. Update your website. Update your Facebook of your hours and time, because there was 2 locations that we tried to visit yesterday, and it showed on one location that they were open, but then the other locations it said closed, and we almost went out to Matson. And I would have been highly upset if I went to Matson and it was closed. So please update your website, update your Facebook, update Yelp, whatever platforms you're on, update. If your prices change, update. Don't let it be a shocker when we come into your establishment and now your turkey burger is $12 and online it says it's $8. That would make us upset as customers.
That's right. That's right. Make sure you have everything updated on all your platforms. And if you need assistance with managing all of your social media and making sure all of your spaces and places are up to date and correct, then give us a call. We can help with that. Being Suit Media can help with your overall, because that's part of your marketing. That's part of your marketing strategy. And it should be something that's constant. Make sure that everything is up to date on all platforms.
Update. Yes, because that's one of our issues in our community when we hear supporting Black business. I came and they wasn't open, or they shut down early and no notification. You guys want to keep your customers updated. So even if you had an emergency in your spot and you're closing early, just post it on your social media platforms. Hey, we're closing early, an emergency took place. Sorry for the inconvenience. That way, if someone says something, no, we posted. You got to follow us so you can get the updates. That's
right.
how you get more followers too. Follow us on social media with our updates. Because we can't call every customer and say we're closed. Just follow us.
That's
but
right.
Make sure you always keep that in mind about your customers. They come first.
That's right. That's right. You got to serve them. And so Sabrina, we hear you, Sabrina. Sabrina says she's going to try eating every other day starting tomorrow.
We should start something.
Keep us plugged in. Let us know how it goes. Now, Sabrina, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna encourage you. I don't know what your experience level is, but make sure that you are getting all of your necessary nutrients in. Right? You don't want to, and all of us have done this in different levels. You see people who go vegan, but then they're eating French fries and potato chips for 2 weeks, right? Up to I'm not eating meat. So you got to make sure that you get that balance, right? Get your nutrients in. Make sure you got you a full serving of vegetables. Make sure you got whatever protein you need. That protein can get from beans. That navy bean is powerful. Yeah, that lentil soup is good. That navy bean. See, that navy bean is a very important piece to have in that diet, because the navy bean has amino acids, right? It has essential minerals, right? And so those essential minerals are the minerals that our body doesn't naturally produce, but our body needs.
Gotcha.
Right? Then you have some protein in those beans as well. And then also it pulls out radiation in your body.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's why the Navy used it. That's why it's called navy bean. And if you want to get spiritual with it, there was that pulse that Daniel and his brothers, Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego ate, that all they needed was that pulse and that water, and they didn't eat from the king's table, and they were healthier and stronger because of their diet, not eating from the king's table. That pulse, scientists and researchers say, was the Navy bean. So,
and if you
get
don't know
that
how
in
to make Navy bean, you can always go to the foodie spot. They make Navy bean soup, and it's the bomb.
Listen, they're going. One of my goals is for everybody that does business with me in real estate, I'm going to give them a bowl of bean soup, and if I don't make it, it's coming from the foodie spot.
They make delicious bean soup.
And more than likely, let me say it like this, so I can be transparent. More than likely, it's going to come from the foodie spot.
Unless you want to pay me to make it.
More than likely. You got too much. You got so much on your plate right now. She said she's going to get those Navy beans today. Those Navy beans are key. So.
And make sure you soak them so you're not gassy.
That's right. Soak them for at least 2 hours. I usually soak mine overnight.
Overnight is the best.
Overnight is the best,
2
right.
2 hours if you do a quick soak, meaning you boil them for like about 2 minutes and then put the top and let them sit for 2 hours, and then you can cook them. That's the quick way. But I like to sit mine overnight as well, Touré.
That's right, because it's key to take that gas out of those beans. We want everything but the gas.
Absolutely.
Everything that bean has to offer, we want but the gas.
They don't want to go to work and smell it.
They don't want to offend people, right? They don't want people, they go, oh, don't give me any of those Navy beans. Right, so that's key and important. So, man, this has been a powerful show today. We're coming up on the last few minutes
any
here.
Tips on marketing? Any tips on real estate, Touré?
I have a tip when you go outside. The
What?
snow has started to fall, guys.
We saw somebody post that.
Mm-hmm.
So you brought it. You announced it right on time.
Thanks, sassy.
What do you say? Speak.
Right. So you brought it on. So, but we'll get it and get it out the way. We're built for it. This is what Chicago is. Right. Yes. I got my Scully. I brought my Scully with me today.
I brought my coat. Look, I came out the house this morning with this on. I had to turn back around. I was like, son, can you go to my room and get my coat? It's on the couch. It's freezing out here. Right,
because that hog was out there this morning whipping around a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about marketing. So let's do something in real time here for these next few minutes.
Okay.
Right. You've been getting some great response from advertising on What's in It for the Black People media. People come in, they mention and talk about they saw or heard about you on the Maze Jackson show. They heard it on the Touré Muhammad show. They saw a post that either you did or that I did on Black Chicago Eats, right? And but we still need more.
Absolutely.
Right? You still need more people coming in on a consistent basis. You're able to service the people you have, but you're not selling out, right, every day. So what are some of the things that you're concerned about that you think that you need in order to increase?
More platforms.
More platforms.
More platforms. I think we discussed this. I want to be on more platforms, more radio shows, more TVs, billboard. So that's where I'm looking at.
Right. Yeah. So, and those are definitely key and viable options, right? But what I appreciate and love, first of all, is that you know the importance of it and you're looking for some more creative ways to be in front of more people. Now, here's the thing that I suggest. This is going to be for you, but it's also for folks who are listening who may be in business, right? You know what you need, but then you have to look at what your resources are and how you can achieve it. Now, if the resources are there to look for an optimal billboard, billboards are a lot more less expensive nowadays than they used to be because much more competition digitally, right? And then, of course, there is the whole process and the to get media coverage, right? You've had to start engaging those media outlets via news releases by reaching out to them on their social media platforms, right? By crafting that story in a way that it tells a story that's going to be engaging and that hits on certain news elements that may be critical right now, may be attractive right now, where there's different ways of dealing with the pandemic, whether it is a small business, right? You find those angles and those reporters. Of course, it's food, so the food reporters is a great angle to go in.
What about bloggers for food?
Food bloggers, absolutely. You want to find those food bloggers who are posting and talking about, and the social influencers that focus on food. They may not necessarily blog, but they do post on Instagram and Facebook, right? So you want to make sure that you're engaging those. And that may be, we did this with What's in It for the Black People Media with Maze Jackson. Remember when we brought tacos here, right? So you look at some of those social media influencers and bloggers, reach out to them and say, listen, we want you to come by and have a Sissy's Taco Bar meal on us.
You know what, Touré?
We want you to try our food.
I had a vision like at 4:30 this morning too. It's having an event, but at a hotel space for Sissy's Taco Bar. That was in my mind too. Great vendor event, but it's nice, it's big, so we can have more people. The room is huge. But Sissy's Taco Bar will be the only food vendor.
Of course, absolutely, only food vendor. Maybe a dessert.
Yeah, maybe a dessert.
Maybe dessert, but you definitely you got everything from the meal to the drink, and shout out to that new drink that everyone loves, the Brother T's Tea. I think who was that? Who gave us that name? Was it Shaka? Somebody gave us that name. I think we're going with that name. Brother T's Tea. That is half horchata
and sweet tea.
And half sweet tea. Absolutely delicious. And so, but listen, we are at 12:57, and our show is at a close right now. We are so happy and pleased to be on top side of the earth, and we thank you all for tuning in to the Touré Muhammad Show.
See you Friday. Make sure you tune in and make sure you're on time.
And never forget, as long as we got a bowl of bean soup, you've got half. Peace.
This is Mix La Production. This is Mix La Production. Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me, said. Remy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I'd be done had a heart
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
About National Join a Positive Black Organization Day, because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
My name is Cassandra J. Matz, current Village of Olympia Fields trustee and your candidate for Village President of Olympia Fields. I've been a resident of Olympia Fields for 28 years. I believe in building strategic partnerships, establishing governance boundaries, and have and will continue to dedicate my life's work as a respected and credible voice when it comes to decision making. Olympia Fields has always been a community of familiarity and comfort, and I want to make sure the village stays that way. On Tuesday, April 6th, vote Cassandra J. Matz for your Olympia Fields Village President. Paid for by Citizens for Cassandra J. Matz.
WIFTBPM.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Day one. Yes, sir, I like how that sound right there, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of inspirational. It's like everybody got a goal. They're trying to reach or alive. They're trying to live, man. Be bumps in the road. You gotta keep pushing forward, you know what I'm saying? If it don't kill you, it make you strong. You know what I'm saying? My story right here. Yeah. It takes a special kind of mind to grind and work from the bottom and climb up the ladder of success in time. It doesn't matter what the test is, every step is another level till I step in as the next in line, no question. I'm considered one of the best, my whole life invested in, holding mics and sketching rhymes, you guessed it. I'm on mine, still restless, yes, even pressed up my records on my own dime. As many battles I blew breath in, and open mics I blessed. I'll never be labeled an overnight success, passing out CDs, doing shows for free, then dabbing both to eat so that my soul could speak over these soulful beats that's so cold to me. Like the breeze in the shower, we be posted deep. All the prices that I paid, the sacrifices I made, it'll all come to life one day, someday. Wait and see, someday. We'll make it someday. Wait and see, someday. Just be patient, man. Bumps the road ain't nothing. Rotate, doesn't stop, no. Check it out, look, I remember it like yesterday, trying to get my record played at a radio station where they play hits for days, having a conversation with this lady I'm facing while she making a statement made for me. She said, look, it's too many words in your hook, you need to work on your look. For what it's worth, I never took her words personal, but at first I wasn't certain though if she knew my words are personal and not just verses and books. Until the curtain closes, this is my version of what I know, learning in first person till I blow, and still I know how it feels to know I'm the deal. Did you still feel like a deal is just right, or a deal just might still add to my appeal? But they won't know I'm real till I touch my first million, right? I'ma chill till my bars is felt and play my hand with the cards I'm dealt, and that's the plan till it's solved itself. Everything you want in this world is yours. All you gotta do is claim it, man. Hey yo, it's damn near impossible to shop music without lots of loot to maneuver and make moves with. So I stay in tune with my pursuit. Fuck trying to recoup, I'm trying to juke and move units. The truth is, I'm used to excuses. Give like you can do what I do, food and prove it. Walk in my shoes then. I'm used to goofy producers and cools that try to misuse you quick. Why you got it confused? If you think it's about groupie chicks and interviews in a mix, it ain't got ghouly, but I truly got the tools to overcome obstacles, including this music biz. I'ma shine like jewels, unlike these Rubik's Cube dudes with all this woo 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 when they spit. Mick Luda is the future, so get used to this. It's day one, not a crew or clique. It's a new beginning. Wait and see someday, someday.
Happy Monday, everybody. I know it's cold in this mug, but man, we are back down on the soil. The man Gino been trying to tell me, Esco,
What he been trying to tell you?
don't get used to that 60 degrees because Mother Nature's going to flip it on us any day now.
Like, so.
Yes, and
I
as
think
usual,
I got
he was
your
on
temperature already.
Oh, yeah, we know how Gene is feeling this morning. Without further ado, thank you, everybody that's tuning in. We are officially back down at the West End for the Black People Media Studios. I'm T. Tomlin coming to you, as usual, with my partner, Gino. What's good?
What's the Benoski?
It is all good. Esco, how you feeling on this Monday?
I'm feeling good, you know?
Yes, it's always.
We're here.
Yes, it always gives me a boost to hear you laugh and smile. I appreciate that. Feels good on a Monday.
Brightening up our
Can we
gloomy.
can we have Esco on every Monday? Come on, man.
We got Esco every Monday, man.
Every Monday, we're gonna grip you.
For now.
See, I can feel, the universe telling me the wind is trying to push her away, but no.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Right?
Yeah, we'll talk about
Gino
it.
got this one jacket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
For sure.
Yeah, well, we gonna keep that low key. 'Cause your eyes, anytime I pop up in the jacket, your eyes get big. Esco, so we gotta
like
lay
slow
low
motion.
on that. Yeah, man.
Hope everybody enjoyed your weekend. It's time to talk some sports, and I feel like it's a sports day, man.
Can't say, man.
Yeah, I mean, we got to talk some Bulls. We got to talk, I think, a little bit of Bears. We got a little piece of update on Allen Robinson and his situation and what he's thinking behind the scenes. But, of course, man, we got to kick it off. I got to check and see how my brother's doing, man. What's your temperature today, man? What's on your mind?
Man, I'm just trying to finish eating my banana, bro.
So you got to get your balanced breakfast, your potassium in, right?
No, I want more.
You know, going to the doctor, getting checkups, physicals and all that. Check your levels and all that. Your high blood pressure. I talk about sodium.
Gina, I got a report back.
You got your blood pressure high?
He told me whatever I'm eating, stop it.
I try to tell all my young homies, man.
Not too. He told me it's not.
It's
too
not
crazy,
too high. Yeah,
but he's like looking ahead. Yeah, I mean, if you want to keep it this way, go ahead and pay more attention to your diet. And I feel like you always on my back about trying to make sure I stay, on the right side of my health and everything. And I feel like it's time. Like all of the roads have kind of met, and it's like, all right, Terrence, you done some things that you've always wanted to do over the past few years. You've been blessed. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Focus on what's important. So,
man, I try to tell all my young homies, man, don't wait till you get 35 and 40 to start taking care of yourself, bro. One of the guys, one of the little homies, he comes to the gym. I walk up, fool is sitting on the bleachers eating Popeye's chicken.
Oh, man.
I go back down. I go downstairs to do whatever. I come back up. This guy's eating a bag of Ruffles and drinking a Sprite.
Super.
And we about to hoop in 15 minutes.
The options are limited.
Let's go.
The options are terrible. Options are terrible.
Now, fam, I know you 24 years old.
Probably
you can
thinking
get
he's
away
good.
with it now.
Super young.
But no, bro. I'm telling you from experience and
man,
for your own good, bro. Stop doing that. Then 3 games in, you over there at the water fountain. We trying to keep the runs going. We like, man, where fool at? He coming out the bathroom. Talking about, man, my stomach hurt, man. I said,
only reasonable
fam.
next stop. Come on, of course.
Said, fam. Stop doing that, bro. Drink water, eat fruit, eat a smooth, do something other than what you're doing, because in 10 years, you're going to be smoked.
See, I remember the high school days, Joe.
Oh, my gosh.
Maxing
Stay
off
out
the
all
dollar
night.
meal right before
Mountain
you hoop
Dew
or something.
hot
Oh, man.
Woo. Let's go. Y'all, late night, White Castle drive-through.
I remember. I
2
know.
hours sleep.
I was.
Get back up.
Yeah. Oh.
I just need an Altoid and a Red Bull. Whew.
Whew, man.
Now I'm like, hold on, I'm gonna need 2 weeks.
It was rough. It was rough, and I feel like you got to stay on the younger generation about that, Gino, because one of the other things he told me, what Doc told me, is that you can't really measure health by the eye like people used to think you could. You know what I mean? It's people that look like they're decent that end up with health issues, and it's like, look, it's about what's going on inside, you know? So, yeah, man, definitely I feel like for the rest of my life, Gino, I feel like I got to get on it, you know?
Got to get on it, man. Starting out, man. Just first of all, I'm glad you went, because a lot of us, you know, we take it for granted, man. It's
And
like,
that
no, I'm
was
cool.
on my
I
mind.
ain't, I don't feel nothing. I'll go to the doctor, let them tell you that what you need to work on, because we all need to improve daily. But once you get that, that medical history, and you're able to look back at 40, man, 40 plus, you really start to take heed and start to kind of remove.
But you look good.
Toxic. Well, thank you, Esco. Anytime people ask me how old I am and I tell them, they like, man, you tripping, man.
I've always thought of Gino as a world-class athlete. His regimen is different.
Hey, I'm trying to get my hip together now. Hopefully the x-rays come back today.
Oh, my God.
I hope I don't need no hip surgery like cuz.
You want to know something? And it's crazy that it's the hip, because the most in shape person I know, my Uncle Vincent, injured his hip.
Come on, man.
A few years ago, and I'm trying to tell you, he's like close to 70, and he looks like Gene. You feel me? Like,
wow.
But he's also a guy that's been an athlete his whole life, worried about his health. He's been a vegan ever since before I knew what vegans were. You know, ever since I was a kid.
Okay.
And he did something where he jumped, a ball went over a fence. He jumped just like he felt he usually could. He came down and hurt his hip. But he was able to heal fast because of his lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah, all of that, man.
Man.
All of that. It's about the lifestyle change, man. For me, it's all about, different strokes for different folks, but it's all about knowing your body.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I don't try to convince people to go vegan or vegetarian or plant-based or whatever.
Just no pork.
No pork on my fork.
I feel that.
If you want to dine with the swine, that's cool with me, but I'm not doing it. But I'm not trying to convince you to do you. Fumi, shout out to the late great Fu Tang. His Do You University, bro. Do you.
Yes, sir.
So, but I'm just saying that, I'm just, passing some older friend advice. Like,
yes,
take care of yourself, but mainly know your body, do what's right for you. And yeah, man, hopefully my hip can get back in order, because
maybe a chiropractor, but a real one.
See, that was next for me. I've been going to acupuncture for like the last. I've done it like might be my 5th time. Did it 2 weeks in a row. It felt good, but I just think I think it's something more. Like, I don't know what it is, but we gonna get to the bottom of it, because I got to get back to, who I was out there on the court. I'm still cool, but I ain't that young whip. I can't just roll over and get out of bed and do it like I used to. So, But I'm all good. I can't complain, man. I can't complain. But
feel that. Real quick, did you get a chance to watch the Grammys? I know we talked about it with Lil Ron on Friday, and we got to see it last night. Did you get a chance to peep, Gino?
yeah, I watched that trash.
Your man Nas.
We knew Nas
came out victorious.
We knew
Best
Nas
rap
was gonna
album.
get the legendary the Legend Award.
Man, the Academy over Freddie Gibbs and Alfredo.
I told y'all Freddie Gibbs wasn't winning no damn Grammy, man. And much love
You
to
did
our
say
guy,
it.
man. But
You did, but you know what? I like the response to him losing. I feel
What
like
was
the
it?
consensus felt like he had the best piece of work out of that assortment of nominations. Did you see the video of him saying, I'm still undefeated in court? I mean, I lost today. I'm still undefeated in court, though.
Classic Fred.
So, but shout out to Nas. I know it's kind of weird getting it for King's disease, but his career speaks for itself. You know?
Lifetime Achievement Award, man. And plus, Nas.
How about just give him a Lifetime Achievement Award? Yeah, you had to rob somebody else's Grammy to give Nas a makeup Grammy.
So you thought Freddie Gibbs was gonna win the Grammy?
I thought he should have won. I definitely the book was still out on if he was gonna win. You know what I mean?
Fred isn't popular enough in those circles.
I think this was definitely more like his coming out party.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's cool. Now he's on. You know, he's maybe. I don't even think he's like on people's radar because most people still did. It's not like the award was presented at the Grammys where we saw Freddie Gibbs' name and face pop up on the screen in front of billions of people.
Was it? I didn't watch it.
They never present the rap award at the Grammys.
Oh, but the show happened.
The show happened
With people there.
Yes.
Outside of
not
Staples Center.
pre-recorded. Oh.
No, not pre. It was live outside of Staples Center. And they did some performances inside Staples Center on like a one stage kind of you dig. And some people had recorded previous or was somewhere else and did their thing. But but you know they did the pre-show kind of ceremony thing where they announced some awards beforehand.
Right.
And best rap album was one of them.
Yeah,
so.
they never and I feel like as much as they pilfer and rape and steal and any other adjective you can think of. Yeah, all the things that they do from hip hop and the rap culture, and they can't give them that stage at that night. I mean, there are a lot of awards that they don't present live, but I feel like best rap album should definitely be one of the categories that they present live. Like, stop 100%.
it, man. Definitely best rap album. I feel like it should be a premier category. Now, one thing I did notice about the show is that I feel like this is the most hip-hop I've seen as far as live performances go. Maybe it was different because of COVID, but every song I heard on the radio, I feel like they performed it live last night.
Who like what?
Of course, Megan Thee Stallion.
I saw her and Cardi B.
Yeah. Roddy Ricch. Lil Baby. I mean, and it goes on. I feel like the top mainstream hip-hop class was represented at the Grammys for sure. Megan Thee Stallion got a bunch of awards. She won Best New Artist. And then best collab with Beyonce, brought Beyonce up.
Oh, can you imagine? You went with Beyonce and you can't even celebrate with Beyonce.
Oh, come on.
And it would have been a Beyonce type of party where you can say, no, you can't.
Yo, please. Yeah, you know. So, yeah.
Kudos, though.
Yeah, definitely kudos to man because they looked great. I feel like they looked great on TV.
Getting Grammys.
Oh, yeah. So, shout out to them. I was mad Gibbs didn't get it, but I felt like as far as the show, it was decent.
Well, again, man, I love Fred. Fred is one of our good guys. He's had a great career, overcoming all of his different obstacles, but he didn't stand a chance.
But see now, he
didn't stand a chance, Esco. Like there was no way he was winning that award.
You know who picks the
awards. I don't care if it was Esco, me, Freddie Gibbs, and Maze Jackson's album. One of us were winning over Freddie Gibbs.
Man. Look, I feel like the thing that I feel like we always got to remind people of when it comes to the award shows is that we solidify who we solidify. Like Alfredo and Gibbs definitely are at the top of the mountain when it comes to the rap game right now. You know what I mean? I feel like Gibbs is one of the most consistent guys on the mic right now, and I feel like he's at a point in his career where you see people look up to him. Like you see his collaborations with Griselda, you see what he does with Spitter. You know what I mean, Gibbs is just, I feel like, one of the go-to guys in rap. You know what I mean?
In rap?
In
or in hip-hop?
Well, in rap, I mean, Big Sean went and got, I heard Gibbs on the radio
Until
this
Gibbs is on the song with Lil Baby or Da Baby or Megan Thee Stallion.
But see, now, now Megan Thee Stallion, I could see that. Now, I don't necessarily think Fred even.
Or Maroon 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like Da Baby was on the song with Dua Lipo or whatever her name, Lua Depot, whatever her name was.
I feel like, I wouldn't be surprised if Fred pops up on something like that.
That's what he's gonna have to do to get a Grammy.
I definitely heard him drop a rap feature on like a pop song on one of the new tracks on Tidal.
Okay.
So I know that he may be fishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you better be.
For mainstream catch, you know?
When you sign with them labels, you better be. When they give you that bag of bread, you better be fishing for something bigger. But regardless of all that, Fred won, being in that category anyway. Shout out to Royce, D Smoke, Nas, JLX, and Hove. Everybody that was nominated. But yeah, we knew Nas was going to get it. JLX / Hove.
Yeah.
But my mama said, I agreed. I didn't have to see Megan Thee Stallion. Sorry, fans. I would have preferred a performance by Nas. I'm just saying.
I'm not mad at the Megan Thee Stallion performance, but
you knew it was coming. It had. Why? How could you not have a performance by Megan Thee Stallion?
I did see the picture.
Did you the picture of her performance?
Outfit.
And who's out? Cardi.
Yeah, and
Cardi looked
all of that.
Cardi
arse.
It looked like she had a little more arse than she usually does.
And then
like some extra back, some extra.
That's what the other gentlemen around here were saying.
Yeah. Really?
I didn't look that hard.
Well, we looked hard. We didn't have to look hard.
She was
we
like
know.
A gladiator.
Definitely.
She did. She did.
And I feel like I saw a couple of pictures. They were scissoring. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if anybody watches South Park, but they were scissoring. Okay. Okay.
No, I'm glad Megan, did her thing. What did she won twice?
She won a few times. I think she won twice during the night, and then she won a couple of times in the pre-show.
I couldn't watch it. I have a daughter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's sad when you can't even watch the Grammys.
Oh, because
why couldn't you?
Because now they say some words that she can't say. They dress a certain way.
How old is your daughter?
13. She just.
All right. 13. She's very
barely PG-13. So now
Yeah.
she thinks she's grown. Oh, it's PG-13.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because the radio is gonna play it like crazy.
Her daddy is. That's what.
Her daddy is
Gonna play that kind of music.
Okay.
When she's in the car.
And they're very, they can be influenced very easy.
But with me, it's your child.
Did you see the video of Cardi turning off the music when her daughter came in? She's like, oh, no, you can't listen to
right,
this.
that's what
you can't listen to my music.
You can't listen to me yet.
You're supposed to do that.
Yeah, I liked it. You know what I mean? So.
No, I was, them performances, whatever. I saw people so charged up about Hove and Beyonce being there. I'm like, why do...
Because of, I mean, I feel like it's still
Are they
more
like
about
superheroes
Now,
or
I
something?
know I thought you were going to bring up. Black Lives Matter.
And the baby, and the little baby.
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling that. Tamika Mallory and them can kick rocks, actually.
Tamika Mallory came out and said some words before the little baby performance.
They can kick rocks.
I miss seeing athletes at these, functions.
You said
I miss the athletes.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a whole different vibe. It's like he said, especially with COVID and all the restrictions. It was a weird setup. What was Buddy, the host?
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah. He was like perfect.
I was thinking about you watching Trevor Noah because Gene told me a couple weeks ago that Jay need to cut his hair or something. And I was like, if anybody needs to cut their hair, it may be Trevor Noah, Joe. Like, he looked like a Creole
he be going out.
voodoo doll or something. Yeah, it's like, come on, buddy.
Buddy is definitely a very great description for him.
But yeah, I'm sorry, Miles, but I was kind of like this on the Cardi. and Megan.
I bet. You're like, no, this is research.
You know the Michelle Obama man when she just go. I was like, oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it was you know it was vintage Megan and Cardi. I like Megan's red carpet.
Oh yeah,
look, she was clean.
I like
Megan.
Too.
I like Megan.
Yeah.
I'm not her music, whatever. Like I don't whatever. You know that's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me. But I'm glad. She's so like down to earth, and she just reminds me of somebody that we grew up with,
real,
you know, somebody from the hood. So I was glad to see her giving props to her mom, and she was so charged when Beyonce showed up. I guess Hov and Beyonce came late.
Yeah,
popped in, got their awards.
Yeah, just of course I think the talk before people were trying to say they was boycotting, but they showed up late. But yeah,
and Hov, yeah, I mean, he got his Basquiat look. Hey, more power to you, brother. But yeah, the Grammys, man, same old thing. I see people upset with, you know, Lil Wayne. Did you see Lil Wayne?
No.
Lil Wayne said F the Grammys. And I'm like, Wayne, you won a Grammy.
Yeah,
you won Grammys, but you're a Grammy Award winner. But he's tight because he hasn't won an award in the last 5 years for any of his work. And I'm like,
I didn't mean to laugh like that, but yeah. Okay.
I don't know any of Wayne's work for the last 5 years. So
Lil Ron gonna update you next time.
I'm straight, Lil Ron, and I still haven't listened to D Smoke.
I didn't make it around to the D Smoke. I did make it around to the Smoke though, but no. On that note, let's hop into our first break, y'all. We'll be right back on the soil. You're kicking it with the bigs.
WIFTBPM. My name is Cassandra J. Matz, current Village of Olympia Fields trustee and your candidate for Village President of Olympia Fields. I've been a resident of Olympia Fields for 28 years. I believe in building strategic partnerships, establishing governance boundaries, and have and will continue to dedicate my life's work as a respected and credible voice when it comes to decision making. Olympia Fields has always been a community of familiarity and comfort, and I want to make sure the village stays that way. On Tuesday, April 6th, vote Cassandra J. Matz for your Olympia Fields Village President. Paid for by Citizens for Cassandra J. Matz.
My brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters. Yeah, no bullshit at the pulpit with questions for the reverend, like why I gotta die to go to heaven, or are these lies and deception a sign of what's next, to deny my progression to my soul through my spirit from my mind and my flesh. You be hard pressed to alter my perspective. It's reflective of my perception. All the lives and the tribes that's affected, dying quick, effects from environments neglected, disconnected, disrespected. This the same section we never invest in. Our own sales from our own shells, become owners on our own. They get on with our own help. Yeah, creators of our own world, communicate. We accumulated our own wealth. Created in this image, so when I say it, I meant it. Do the science for yourself. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. Can you dig that though? And I put this on my mama, Black Madonna, Mother Earth, Mother Africa. I'm honored to be a part of where it started, selling Starburn through the stardust on my starship. My heartbeat is godly. I'm the light harnessed from the darkest part of darkness. Such a godsend. I'll teach my son to treat your daughter like a goddess. I teach my daughter to treat your son like a god king. I can never deny my fate. My melanated skin tells my story every day. Fortunately, my fortune awaits. Majority of the world, minority in the States. Yeah, we blossom from the concrete. The world copies what they see, then mocks my mystique. The Possibilities impossible to see. The ways of Western man can match the prophets of the East. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. My brothers and sisters, we ain't niggas and bitches. Young brother, young king, you're a genius. Young sister, young queen, supreme beings. All you have to do is believe it. All you gotta do is believe it. Young brother, young king, you're a genius. Young sister, young queen, supreme beings. All you gotta do is believe it.
Y'all niggas, and you gon' be niggas forever, just like us, niggas. You're not niggas.
WIIFTBPM.
We are back down on the soil. It's always interesting, you know, between me and Gene when we deciding which way we want to go in the next segment. And I'm like, okay, we'll go ahead and get the Bulls out of the way.
Get them out
today.
of the way, please, man.
You know, the Bulls had 2 games over the weekend.
Was it 2?
It was 2 games. They played Friday and Sunday. And 1-1. They lost. I mean, they lost to the. Was it the Philadelphia 76ers?
No, they lost to the Sixers first.
Yeah.
No, they lost to the Heat. Did they lose to the Heat, then the Sixers?
It was the Sixers, then the Heat on a back-to-back. So they played Thursday, Friday, was off Saturday, and played Sunday. And won yesterday versus the Toronto Raptors.
Versus the Raptors team who I couldn't tell you 3/4 of them guys. Actually,
COVID was tearing them up.
I couldn't tell you 97% of those guys outside of Kyle Lowry and Norman Powell and my boy Bobby Boucher.
And Kyle Lowry got a technical on the
purposely
side,
to get kicked out to get this one over with. So they lost to the Heat. They lost to the Sixers Thursday and lost to the Heat Friday when Dale had his meltdown.
Which brings us to the most latest update. For the Chicago Bulls, Billy Donovan pushed the button on 2 of his starters.
George Bush the button.
Sent Kobe White and Wendell Carter Jr. to the bench in favor of Tomas Satoransky. And they've been calling him
Thaddeus Johnson.
Yeah, Thaddeus Johnson. Thad Young for everybody who's not familiar with that. With Gino, it's a move that I feel like we've kind of foreshadowed for most of the season. If it was any shuffling in the starting lineup, it was going to be at those positions. If it wasn't, Lowry was also included in that, but he's been, in and out because of injury, is trying to find his foot now. But it's come to a point where we've seen, I feel like, enough of Kobe White and Wendell Carter Jr. to start trying to make things better. I mean, if the goal is to make a playoff push, which I feel like is going to be a stretch, but you gotta swing. You know what I mean? You at least gotta swing for it. And then, this could end up looking like a tanking move. I mean, depending on how the winds shake out from it. But this is a move I feel like you have to put your young guys who weren't really living up to the hype on notice and send them to the bench. What did you think about that, Gino?
It was perfect. Like you said, we saw it coming, man. And it was it's not like you can just single Kobe and Wendell out, but it just wasn't working, and it was time for change.
There have been moments where
but
you might could have done that.
But there are 5 guys on the court, and they all got to be in unison. And it was funny because I asked Billy Donovan yesterday after the game, and I had to start it off like, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Kobe White, but do you think that, you know, he would fit better off the bench as a Jamal Crawford, Lou Will type, where he can, you know, do what he does best, which is score the basketball, but he'll also be playing against second string players. And I think it would bode well for him, but for the team as well, because I think that's what they lack coming off the bench, is like a secondary scorer.
Some offensive firepower.
Yeah, somebody that can just come in and get buckets. And I already knew what Billy was going to say, because I wasn't trying to compare him to Jamal Crawford or Lou Will, but I just meant being that guy off the bench. Yeah, I just meant being that guy off the bench. And, you know, he said, you know, he didn't want to, he's sure that Kobe wants to be that complete player. And that's understandable, especially, and that's like I said, how I started it off. I'm not trying to take anything away from it, because, you know, he still has a lot of growth and development, just like those guys did. They had to find themselves early in their careers, and then once they found their niche and became great at it, that it became what it was. So I agree with Billy with that. It's kind of early to put Kobe in that box, but I just don't necessarily think it's the box. It's like you said, what are we doing here? If we're trying to, so my thing is, like you said, it's either not necessarily tank, but try to get the best draft pick you can, which is, it's tanking, actually. Or
a form of
make the playoff run and get these guys some experience, which I think, if it was me, if I'm on the team, I want the playoff experience, because there's nothing like it. I think that serves your young players well, giving them a taste. Yeah, you might get blown 4-0 in the first round, but at least you get a taste of what that next level is, and now you have something to base your next bit of growth on.
Because I think amongst a few other goals, but one of the goals is definitely to change the culture.
Right.
I mean, you want to get this team and these young players in the atmosphere where winning is king.
All right.
So, of course, I feel like you want to make the playoffs, and it's definitely value in them getting experience. Let me ask you about Wendell Carter Jr., though, because I feel like it's a little different for him than Kobe, because I feel like we've seen him kind of deteriorate mentally, as at least on the court. You know what I mean? And I'm basing that off of his last press conference, where he kind of shed light on some of the battles that he's going through inside his own head. And I don't know what to expect from him now. You know? It's like, is it the same as Kobe, where he's going to excel as a bench player? Because I feel like he has the talent to be better than where he is, you know? As to say with Kobe, you see that his skill set is kind of suited for a six-man role. You're looking at Wendell Carter Jr. like, what's going on with you? Like, is everything okay? Like, you know, and I feel like that's a fair question to ask a young dude in the NBA. You know, because if it's not, then yes, it needs to be addressed. But I feel like his play is affected by some whole other stuff right now.
And that could be true. Because like you said, that presser was very telling.
And this was after the Miami Heat
loss. It was after the Miami Heat loss, and he has said that was like the 5th game in a row where he was trash, and he really has there is no excuse, but he has no answers for why.
And this is after losing to the Sixers. Excuse me, more context. This is after losing to the Sixers,
getting dominated by Dwight Howard and the third string center Tony Bradley. No Bam Adebayo against the Heat and being dominated again, but not just dominated defensively, but not giving anything offensively. And he used a couple curse words, which was telling. He came in there, he was rubbing on his fro and he was just looking down. He was really distraught. And I'm thinking, again, this is a kid that would be a senior at Duke University right now had he stayed in school. And like we talked about Friday, I just don't think he handles constructive criticism well. I think Billy Donovan is one of those guys who's going to be blunt, give it to you straight, and you got to be able to take that and keep it moving because you're a grown man at this point. But with guys like Kobe, it was something last night when a couple people asked Kobe about taking it as competition.
Mm-hmm.
And Kobe was like, hey, man, I came off the bench all last year. I take everything as competition. I take everything as a shot at me, needing to get better. But he was like, I'm treating this the same way as if I was starting. I know what I need to do to continue to get better. But just seeing, Kobe's emotions versus Wendell's emotions, they were just totally different. And this is a kid who's a second-year player and a kid who's a third-year player. And Wendell is 6'10". Like, you're usually the biggest guy on the floor most nights. So it could be something else outside of basketball affecting his play. We don't know. Maybe we'll have to do some inside work to see if we can get that. But
also in that press conference, I feel like he kind of let it be known he doesn't want people to feel like that. He's like, look, I've had troubles trying to be aggressive. That's it. It's just not in his nature.
That's unbelievable.
And I feel like I understand that because I feel like that part of your game has to be natural. But I still don't. It's like, okay, well, it's other ways. It's like you have to find whatever it is. You know what I mean? Was Tim Duncan like an in-your-face Kevin Garnett mug? Like, no, that's not what I feel like Wendell Carter Jr.'s coaches are asking him.
But that was the thing. It's like I didn't. It's like I was getting mixed signals or a mixed message because he said, "Man, I'm just going out there doing what the coaches tell me, but I feel like I should be more aggressive." So I know the coaches ain't telling you not to be aggressive.
Exactly. You see my face. I'm like, come on, Wendell.
Yeah. So maybe he was just caught up in his words because that's what I took from it. By saying, I feel like I should be more aggressive, saying I should be more aggressive versus I feel like I should be more aggressive sounds like the coach is telling you not to be aggressive. And I know for sure the coaches aren't telling you that. And you shouldn't, at 6'10", power forward center position, you shouldn't have to be told to be aggressive.
And then if that's the case, what's the deal behind the switch? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what do you say is the reason behind the switch if you had to throw something on it real quick?
Just throwing two veterans in the lineup, two guys who knows what it takes at, going down the stretch of a season. Again, Sato is one of those guys who doesn't do anything raw. He does everything pretty good. He does everything. He's probably a B- to a C.
Yeah.
In everything.
Yeah.
So that's a guy you can trust. He's not going to turn the ball over. He knows how to run a team. He's not up and down.
Nah.
And then Thad, who's probably been our second best player all year.
I feel like Thad will make other players in the starting lineup better. Pat Williams.
Yeah. And that's another thing I think it allowed Wendell to the bench, allowed Pat Williams more freedom.
Mm-hmm.
It takes so now Thad gets to play that spot. He loves those pockets. He loves to be the guy to make the decisions off the pick and roll. It opens the floor up. Pat Williams gets to cut more.
He gets to be the Joakim Noah.
Thad can see the floor. Pat got 5 or 6 layups and dunks last night just by back cutting, cutting out of the corner. Thad being able to make that pass versus a guy like Wendell who ain't making that pass.
And see, now when he came into the league, wasn't that supposed to be part of his game? Being able to make some decisions and pass the ball. That was supposed to be one of the strong points of his game. We haven't seen it, but I totally feel like you get that with that. You know what I mean? At least we can start focusing a little bit more on Pat Williams and, trying to see what he can develop into his first year. But, man, we said it was going to be a tough start of the second half of the season. Right now, they're 1-2. In the first 3 games out of the break, they have.
So what's that, 17 and 20 now?
17 and 20 is where they are. They have the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow and then the Spurs on Wednesday for a back-to-back, both at the UC.
Yeah, man. Got to come out. Got to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. No disrespect to them. They don't have any.
They're decent.
They are. There's no doubt about it. But the Bulls shouldn't lose to them fully healthy. The Thunder have no stars, not even all stars. They don't have any stars.
Nah.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a damn good player, but he's not a star. They should beat the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Didn't they lost to the Thunder earlier this year?
Yeah, they did out there. I think it went into overtime or something like that.
Yeah,
they
because Shai went crazy towards the end of the game.
And again, he's capable of carrying a team, but again, this part of the season now, the Bulls ain't running up and surprising nobody. The word is out. The league knows that the Bulls are going to be a competitive team on a nightly basis, and they're not running up surprising nobody now. So now it's about coming out with that mindset of beating teams that you should beat, which was we talked about. That's the next step in the growth. You can't skip steps. You can take 1, 2, maybe 3 steps in the season. The first step this year was not being that bottom team, not being the laughing stock of the league. The next step was being competitive on a nightly basis. The next step now is beating teams that you should beat. That's what basic NBA teams who are fighting for a chance at the playoffs, that's what they do.
500 teams.
500 teams beat teams below them to maintain their status in their position in the league. So that's what I'm looking for the Bulls from now, because after that, they got to go to do they go to San Antonio comes here.
And then, but they're going to San Antonio the following week.
Okay.
They're hitting the road after that.
I know they got Denver,
Detroit, Utah, Cleveland, then San Antonio next Saturday. So
it is,
and then Golden State, Phoenix, Utah again, then Brooklyn, then Indiana. Woo! So yeah, I feel like it's only gonna get tougher for the Bulls, and Billy Donovan better fasten his seatbelt.
And I wonder how long, because I think one thing Billy Donovan has done well this year is not be afraid to make the change and not be afraid to.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, do what he thinks is best for the team. And he said yesterday, hey, who knows how long this lineup switch is going to last.
He may make another change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like it was needed. It's different when it's needed. It's like, hey, man, Kobe, Wendell, thank you, but let's see we're going to have to shuffle this up.
This guy Mig said, "What's up, fellas? We might need an honorary buckets report soon."
I saw Jimmy doing his thing.
The Heat have definitely been a different team since Jimmy's return to the lineup. They were very trash at the start when he had to sit out due to was it COVID or was he injured or what?
It was an injury.
Okay.
It wasn't COVID. You know what? I feel like I've totally come around on Jimmy Butler. Like, I totally expected the Heat to be a much better team when Jimmy Butler comes back. He's just a different kind of leader.
No doubt.
And when you talk about players that make players around him better, Jimmy found a way to bring the dog out of cats.
And that'll hold those other guys accountable, especially those young guys.
You cannot half-ass anywhere in the vicinity of Jimmy Butler.
And I still think the Heat overachieved last year. I don't think they're
finals?
I don't think they're anywhere near a finals team, especially when
Brooklyn,
Philadelphia, even Boston. I think Tatum and Brown and Kemba at their peak should be a better team than the Miami. Should be.
Because didn't Miami go through Boston?
Yeah, Kemba was hurt, I think. But no excuses. I don't care. No excuses. But
Jimmy
that's what happens.
The best player on the floor, and that's it. The same way with Milwaukee. So, yeah.
So did you see the tweet from? It was. Let me bring it up. It was a Miami Heat. It might be a Miami Heat beat writer. Let me make sure.
Oh, don't even.
Miami Heat.
Come on, Gino. I was feeling good today, man.
At his absolute apex, Jimmy Butler is better than peak Derrick Rose.
Come on, man.
Ed Lover meme. Come on, son.
Come on, son. Okay, I'm holding up the sign, Joe. It's absolutely ridiculous that we still are hearing stuff like this in the year 2021. You know what I mean? Anybody that witnessed that era of the NBA where Derrick Rose was doing his thing, was it 2009 to 2011, 2012? I don't know if I've ever seen a guard outside of Big Mike like that. You know what I mean? Like, every night I know that D Rose is going to be on point and put the shoulder on his back and get W's.
that AI year, the Sixers were number one in the East was.
But see, that's the class though. You feel me?
Yeah, no doubt. No
Jimmy
doubt.
Butler has never, ever been.
Well, that was my response. I told Buddy, stop the shenanigans, and much love to Jimmy. But when he's the best player and dominates the entire league for a year, plus leads his team to the number one seed without another All-Star, there's a slight chance we might be able to revisit this convo. But we're not.
And it's not even Jimmy's fault.
It's not.
Derrick Rose was made differently by whoever the maker is. You feel me? It's like they was on something else when they made D Rose.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
That 62 and 20 year with Keith Bogans at the 2.
Every single night. Just the D Rose show. You know what I mean? And it was we were lucky to be able to witness it because I see now that history is Derrick Rose's enemy. People not telling the truth about what was really going on in those years, and it was no competition for D Rose outside of LeBron, D Wade. You know what I mean? Everybody else was looking up at D Rose.
Yeah, on a nightly, like you said, on a nightly basis, man, it was.
I see Russell Westbrook get mentioned, and I know that's probably the guy you look to when you talk about athleticism from the point guard position. Russell Westbrook is wild. D Rose was still wilder. You know what I mean? D Rose was more under control, more polished, with even more athleticism and faster. You know?
It was obvious who the better leader was, who made his teammates better.
Russell Westbrook had Kevin Durant. Can you imagine D Rose?
For years on years.
Oh, can you imagine?
D Rose and KD.
Oh, man.
That's a ship.
From the jump? Oh,
and D Rose, KD, and Joakim Noah.
Come on, bro.
Right.
Come on. Don't even do this to me on air, man.
Yeah, the Miami Heat guy. I don't know if that was a fan account. I don't know if that was. I don't think it was a beat writer. I think it was just some fan or something.
And Jimmy Butler wouldn't let you say that. You know what I mean?
Jimmy knows.
Jimmy, like, I learned
some things that's gotten me to where I am today.
I wasn't a killer till I got around them killers, Joe. So yeah, but I feel like to Mig's point, I've actually, you know what? I was listening to the radio this weekend, bruh, and Chuck Swirsky, somebody paid for a Chuck Swirsky spot, and he was doing something called Bulls on the Spot. It was an show on the spot kind of play, and the whole thing was about Jimmy Butler, and it was off the pretense of him being a former Bull. I'm like, come on, Chuck. The whole minute is about Jimmy Butler and him coming back to the Heat. It was how they've been better with Jimmy Butler back. It's like, oh yeah, Jimmy Butler is one of those Chicago Bulls that I feel like Chicago is going to love forever. They're gonna have to bring Jimmy back.
I don't know how. I don't know about that. I don't know. Like,
see, I feel how you feel,
right?
But I feel like it's a strong opposing side. That I'm looking at them like, y'all really love Jimmy, huh? I think it was because it got split for a second.
Right.
D Rose.
They made up the fake beef between the guys.
Oh,
and it's no. I like Jimmy. I don't have nothing against Jimmy. It's obvious who he's become since leaving the Bulls, taking his talents to Minnesota. Did he stop somewhere else before Philly?
Mm-hmm.
And now ending up at a home in Miami. So big shout out to Jimmy, but no way. No way does Jimmy get the love that
here.
Yeah, and I agree. There are those guys. Like Mig is one of them. Javin is one of them.
Oh man,
they're huge Jimmy fans though. I just mean the casual Bulls fan is not. They're not reminiscing over the Jimmy Butler days in Chicago.
I sincerely hope not, because it was nothing, no hardware, nothing in those games. But shout out to Jimmy.
Mig calls him the MVG.
Go ahead, spell it out for me.
MVG.
Stop.
Most valuable G.
The most valuable G.
He says the Sixers and the Nets don't want to see Jimmy. The Bucks not even worth mentioning. We didn't even mention the Bucks. It was one of those top teams. That's the Bucks' fault though.
That was one of the craziest upsets that I've seen. I'm like, I totally didn't expect the Heat to manhandle them the way that they did.
That's
but
their
the Sixers,
fault. I mean, it's a new year, though. Yeah. I wouldn't pick the Miami Heat over the Milwaukee Bucks this year. That was last year. I think Giannis getting that new deal, being the most paid NBA guy.
Yeah, in the bubble.
I think he has a lot to prove.
The Bucks probably wanted to get up out of that situation.
Yeah.
And then I know Embiid is hurt now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Side note, I moved into third place in my fantasy league, and of course, my number one player, Joel Embiid, is hurt now.
All right.
But I feel like at full strength, the 76ers are a problem. You know what I mean?
So at full strength, Brooklyn or Philly?
Oh, Brooklyn.
3 Hall of Famers?
Yeah.
That's the cheatiness, man.
Yeah, that is some of the most cheating stuff I ever seen. Like, honestly, I know we talk a lot about big threes and everything.
3, KD, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving, come on, dog. Like,
now they got Blake.
Series,
now they got Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin gonna act like it's 2012.
Did you see what Blake said a couple nights ago? He was talking to Malika Andrews.
Has he played yet?
He hasn't played yet, but he says, I'm not injured at all. He said, I'm 200% ready to go. I'm like, yeah, them knees about to be looking real fresh. I feel you, Blake. Straight salute.
The second half of the season is here, man. This is about to get interesting. It's gonna be a nice run for these seedings coming down the stretch.
It is.
I want to see if Golden State can hang in there.
They finally snapped the 3-game losing streak.
Looks like the Dallas Mavericks. Looks like Luka's got his guys going. They're inching.
You were wondering when he was gonna snap out of it. Yeah, he's just that kind of talent.
The Blazers, the Portland Trail Blazers. Portland without the D. Portland.
They lost a tough one last night. I was
back-to-backs to Minnesota.
Yeah, but Minnesota.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. Dame still went crazy, though.
Yeah, Dame, it's going to be interesting to see them get CJ and Nurk back, see what they can do.
Yeah. I feel like once they get those guys back, the Blazers will be a problem. Did you see what they said about Nurk? They said he won't have any restrictions when he comes back in a week or two, so.
It's time, man. It's time. Utah, see if they can continue that stranglehold they got out there.
Yeah, man.
Clippers, I don't know what's up with them, man.
Because they lost to the Pelicans last night.
Terrible loss, too.
Yeah, Joe. Sunday games, though, are always kind of weird.
Like, man, do we really got to hoop on Sunday?
Yeah, it's like, damn, can we have Sunday
should be an NBA off day.
Come on, y'all.
Yeah. Come on.
And then it was like an 8 or 9 o'clock game on a Sunday, fam. It's
even
like,
even all of them games. I'm watching the Grammys on my computer. I'm watching Dame on the NBA TV. Then I'm switching back and forth to the Bulls on the NBA. It's like then the Heat, Joe. I mean, the Clippers and the Pelicans on ABC. It's like, hey, man.
It was a whole lot. That was a whole lot, Joe. So, but yeah, man. So we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. The East is looking like, I mean, like to finish it up on the Bulls. I don't know. You know what I mean? A couple
Bulls
weeks
are cooked. Ain't no off. Sorry.
Yeah, man. I feel like the guys in front of them are just on another level. Even the bad teams in front of them. You know.
And there are a lot of bad teams in front of them.
Yeah, a bunch of bad teams, but they're still in another space as far as their progression. We'll see what happens at the trade deadline.
March 25th is the trade deadline. They say Arturas Karnisovas is taking calls to see what's going to be best for the team.
Smart, as he should.
I agree 100%. Thaddeus Young, I love that. Great guy. But if we can get a first-round pick.
If we get a come on, Bulls fans. Thaddeus Young, if we end up getting a first-round pick for Thaddeus Young, that is best-case scenario. We can wish him well.
Say bye-bye.
Wish him well. Be happy that he's doing something bigger somewhere else. If the man played well enough to bring back a first-round pick for a team that needs as many as they can get.
Yeah.
So.
On that note, man, let's take our 2 o'clock break. Drew Brees retired. I don't care.
Let's slam the door. Don't let the door hit your way, split you.
Yeah, great career, Drew Brees. You got a ship. Carry on. We'll see you in the broadcast booth maybe next year, maybe the next couple of years. I see that being his next career stop.
He announced it.
Oh, that he's going to the booth?
He announced it like 20 minutes after his retirement. He's going to NBC.
On that note, Esco, take us to break. When we come back on the other side, Ayo Dosunmu and the University of Illinois Fighting Illini are looking to finish the job and bring it on home to Champaign-Urbana for the Fighting Illini, for the Flying Illini, Kendall Gill, Marcus Liberty, Luther Head, D. Brown, all those guys who made it but didn't quite bring it all the way home. They're looking at Ayo and Big Kofi and Adam Miller and Trent Frazier like, hey, man, bring it home for us, man.
I like it. I like it. We'll talk about it on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
Yep.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Tune into Parenting in a Pandemic, powered by the Chicagoland Mom Squad. Super excited that we've got Lenora Bowler.
Jaquil founded an organization called Project I Am when he was 8 years old, and the organization's goal is to build awareness to homelessness by providing temporary support to those in need, and that's in the form of the blessing bag. And the reason that got going is because when he was around 5 years old, he went to feed the homeless with my aunt, and that was the first time he really had an experience seeing them up close and personal, and he didn't understand, like, why are they out here? Why don't they have a home? So he comes home, of course, and he asked us, how can he buy them all homes? And he, he's 5. He don't understand that concept. He just never let it go. The next few years, he literally would tear up when he would see homeless people. At that point, we were kind of like, okay, we need to try to figure out how to help him, because we were amazed because, like I said, he's an only child. He could be selfish. So when we saw how much he cared about other people, we wanted to figure out how to help him soothe that within him. We had no idea it was going to turn into what it's turned into. We thought this was going to be like a little project and it'll be great for him. It just spiraled out of control. Now here he is 5 years later.
It's only been 5 years?
Yeah.
He's lived a lifetime of just success. Parenting in a Pandemic, every Thursday at noon, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
As I take a sip of this fifth that makes me shiver, you could probably sail a ship on this river full of liquor. We stay afloat where hope drowns in addictions, a potent mixture. This is the picture that depicts us. We live it up, giving what we were given, gave our all, refused to give in or give up, willing to risk it all. Gee, we lived on a tip drunk, dug deep in the trenches, shit, we knew what the risk was. But of course, again, it's the same story when shots fired in the alley hit shorty valedictorian. Where's the support for him, the less fortunate? Another life lost, another day in court again. 20 years for the defendant for any sort of grin. Ward of the state, he was raised in an orphanage. To where it all began, the source of it. Empty cupboards, floorboards, no money for the store again. That's all he knows.
Just where I come from, all of what I've learned, most of what I've done, I owe it all to the people that I love. I hope you're proud of me wherever I go. I'm from.
It's all political. What you tripping for? The richest ones get riches from the rituals. On the tip with hype, tippy toe. For a fix a blow, getting dough. Running every type of give and go. No Philip Drummond in these different strokes. Where we come up on these risky roads. Pray for a pot to piss in for the kitchen stove. Criminal capers just to get us on. Bagging up the same order that gets us gone. Thinking maybe one day we may hit that goal. Until then I'm outside until I flip this soul. Grabbing fagels from the sick go on Cicero. I see a visual of them people frisking, bro. Stretched out by a shorty with the grimace on. Sometimes it ain't even the money, it's the principle. Can tell you why we die, but what are we living for?
This is my city, just where I come from. All of what I've learned, most of what I've done, I owe it all to the people that I love. I hope you're proud of me wherever I go. I'm from. I'm from. Chicago, where I'm from.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
On the soil, coming to you live from the West End for the Black People Media Studios, where we get it in, y'all.
Get it all the way in. Man, you know it's 2 o'clock and I have not dropped the rules for the people.
Gotta lay the law of the land down for the people, bro.
Man, I know everybody that's been rocking with the brothers.
They know.
From the beginning, they know. But if we got some new family members, man, we need y'all to smash them like buttons. Smash that share button.
Do it.
Hit the comment section. Join the conversation like y'all always do. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the comments. We talk back, man. We bring the comment section live to the viewers, and we make sure that it's a part of what we do on a daily basis. But continue to help us push the culture forward, push the content forward, and help What's in It for the Black People Media and the Bigs and everybody else grow, man. It's all about owning the black voice, man. We are about ownership. Ownership.
Tell them again, Gino.
My Dr. Umar voice, man. We're about ownership. We're about ownership. We are about ownership.
Yes.
Owning the black voice and telling our own stories, man. Who tells it better than the source themselves?
Only us, Gino, man. And I feel like the best way you can show us some love, man, is telling a friend, man. Go ahead and tell somebody where's busting at.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We ain't just talking sports. We talk culture. We talk hip-hop. We talk music. We talk life.
Yeah, Chicago.
Man, we talk the crib, man. Shout out to the family members, man. We got much love for y'all, man.
Y'all officially got a +1, +2, +3. Bring the whole set.
Bring the whole set.
Get it in with the bigs, all right? We love y'all.
We a whole family over here, man. Hey. The tournament is here, bro.
I have to say, speaking of family members,
one of my top 3 sports moments of the year. The start of baseball season may be number 1, but I think March Madness might be number 2 on my list. It's nothing like
thirsty.
It's nothing like that Thursday morning starting at 11 o'clock where you can hit 7 different channels in this bussing.
Speaking of that, Gino, I don't think that's the case this year. I think they're starting like in like the late afternoon, early evening.
On Thursday?
Yes.
Well, I know those play-in games are Wednesday, though, right?
Yeah. I don't think it's the all-day kind of you dig that we're used to.
Oh, put me on.
So I feel like the scheduling is more nighttime games than usual. So.
Okay.
And that's cool because you still like to play late, but I read an article that's saying that March Madness is different. Well, Gina, I don't know. You know what? It's not on a Thursday. It starts on a weekend.
Yeah, it's March 19th.
Yeah.
So the first 4, 16, 17, 18. So the first 4 play-in games are Thursday, which is usually the first round.
And then you get a day off, and then
the first and second rounds. First and second rounds are this weekend.
But so it's still like
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
What's today? 14th, the 15th. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Oh,
the first and second round. So the 64 and then the 32. Both of those games are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So that is backwards because it's usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
Okay. Well, regardless, man, it's hoop. We still got the play-in games. We still got the round of 64. Shout out to the great Pat Ewing leading the Georgetown Hoyas to a Big East tournament.
Man, I'm trying to tell you.
Chip.
Started after some crazy news and out of New York. They weren't recognizing the great Patrick Ewing.
They tried to play Big Pat. They knew what they would do. There's no way Pat Ewing could have on a full. He could have on the full ski mask, and you know that's Pat Ewing. Stop.
You better
the
know it's
shenanigans,
Pat,
man.
Joe. In Madison Square.
In Madison Square Garden.
Come on, bro.
Probably the greatest player in Knicks history. Well, arguably.
33. Come on, man, bro.
Yeah, stop it.
You better know who it is. But I thought that was a great way to end it. Him walking away with the trophy.
Yep.
The pictures were great of him holding the kids, and of course you get the John Thompson
all day
flashback.
All
you know
day.
what I mean? So definitely shout out
to Big Pat.
The Big Pat.
Shout out to Rick Pitino, man, taking his fifth
I seen
team.
He got some people mad that he's in there because all the Louisville stuff.
Whatever, man.
That was funny this morning. People are mad.
Whatever,
that
man.
Rick Pitino is
It could be a lot worse. I'm pretty sure if you check the background of a lot of these guys who are leading these teams.
He got game.
Man, come on, man. This
not?
ain't brand new. This ain't brand new. Shout out to Rick Pitino. I know that guy, met that guy, and I know what he means to a lot of people, specifically Billy Donovan. Billy talked last night on the presser after the game about how much he said outside of his mom and dad, Rick Pitino is probably the most influential person in his life. You know, he played for that team, that Kentucky team, or that Providence team in 87. And then I think he coached under Rick Pitino for a few years. So, hey, man, taking another team to the NCAA tournament, Iona, who I think they're playing Alabama, who is the team that Providence played in his first go-around in the NCAA tournament. So, there's a lot of storylines around the tournament, man, but the number one storyline for us.
My favorite
Well, man,
storyline.
hey, depending on who you talk to now, because there is another team. There's a team from Chicago making another run, and it ain't the DePaul Blue Demons, who we can talk about them too, maybe for a minute or two once we get done with the tournament, because I want to ask you a question about DePaul. But the Fighting Illini and the Loyola Ramblers, who, if they both win the first round games, will see each other in the round of 32.
We could see a situation where they knuckle up, which is what I'm excited for. But you know what? Let's talk a second about Illinois and what Ayo Dosunmu has done to that program in the last 3 years. You know what I mean? This is a cat that we were able to cover at Morgan Park.
Ayo,
one of my favorite kids to cover, and I don't like to say that because I feel like we have a great time covering everybody. But Ayo is one of the cats that you knew was not afraid to put in the work on and off the court. His support system is amazing. His father, his mother, his sister. And did you hear them talk about his father on the broadcast?
I didn't.
Greg Gumbel said he bumped into Ayo's pops. He's like, hey, man, stop messing up my son's name.
Shout out to Q, man.
It's Ayo, fam.
What does he call him? Ayo?
Ayo, yeah, I think he was kind of seesawing sometimes. He's like,
it's one of them. It's one of them.
It's only 3 letters. But, yeah, so that was cool. But I feel like he's another cat from the class of, 2017? Yeah, 2017, him and Taylor, that are on.
Maybe 18, 19, 20. Yeah,
18.
He's a junior, yeah.
And I'm just truly enjoying what he's doing out there, man. You look at his stats. He's the only player in college basketball averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. He has Illinois in the tournament for the first time since 2013.
Number one seed again.
And they return as the number 1 seed. Yeah. Looking to bring the first title home, man. Like you said, the Flying Illini. And we watched the guys in 05, Darren Williams and D. Brown. And now it's Ayo in the guys' turn, man. And if you saw the way they poured it out yesterday, man, where it looked like a couple of times their back was against the wall, it might slip. Those guys fought back and hit some clutch shots, man, and looked like a team that you do not want to play in the tournament.
And that's interesting that you say that, because I do agree, but at the same time, man, that tourney is something totally different. And if you get caught slipping, bro,
go ahead and
we've
pack
seen
your bags.
It yearly. If you get caught slipping, you are donezo. So, and I know Brad, we know how fiery Brad Underwood is, and I know for sure that he's not going to let his guy slip one bit. So I do feel like Illinois has a very good chance of bringing it home, but there is that slim chance of them, not coming out firing on all cylinders, and that underdog coming out firing on all cylinders.
They can't do that.
Hey man, it gets ugly in that tournament. It's a different ball game. It's a different crowd. You're not playing on a floor that you're used to playing on. And for Illinois, Io is the man, no doubt. Surprised he didn't win Big Ten Player of the Year. Shout out to Luka Garza from Iowa.
Yeah.
I feel like Io should have won even with Illinois winning the Big Ten tournament. I feel like they could have waited until after the tournament was done to get that award out. But regardless, the big picture is bringing that hardware home. And as looking at the picture on the screen,
it's a hell of a picture.
He channeled his inner Mamba. And a lot of people, if they don't know, Io met Kobe, a while back, and he has Kobe as his profile pic on his Twitter page. So it's self-explanatory. He channeled his inner Mamba. We're going to switch the pictures.
You know what? He's been channeling his inner Mamba for a long time. Don't forget the video that he put out before the season saying, I'm coming back, and I'm not just coming back. I'm trying to win some hardware. And now look at him. You feel me? Now look at him,
The
Joe.
pictures it's crazy. So Io had to go. Io had to say, hey, look, so I'm about to go in the bathroom, put this gate, I'm going to sit on this. Hey, man.
You got to be right here. Get lower.
Man, get a little bit lower.
I'm not going to. You seen the Kobe picture. I'm not going to be looking at the camera,
Exactly.
fam. You know what I mean?
No, it's wicked, man. It's I feel like it's just his way of paying homage.
Oh, man. It's
to
a
the
beautiful
GOAT.
thing.
Yeah, well, not the GOAT, but to their GOAT.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of guys, they weren't born when Mike was winning championships.
Kobe
so.
raised the generation of hoopers for
Kobe,
sure.
Kobe is their GOAT, and there's no issues with that. But it was dope to see, Io kind of recreate that. But to me, it's just saying something that the job isn't done, and I'm thinking, and I gotta bring it home for my team. But to me, Io is the man, no doubt. But the keys to that team, Kofi Cockburn and Trent Frazier.
Gee, who's messing with Kofi?
Not a soul. When he's playing like himself and staying out of foul trouble, Illinois.
You don't want him on the line. But
they're unbeatable.
The man is a problem. Old school. Like, I'm gonna put a shoulder into your chest.
7 feet and in.
Oh man, it definitely a very, very fun watching Kofi get down.
It's refreshing. Yeah. It's very refreshing to see an old school big man. And the thing I love is the guys feeding him. Adam Miller made such a great pass from the top. It's because the top of the key
exactly the pass.
The top of the key is not where you make
your
entry pass to the post. Adam Miller made a dope wraparound bounce pass, hit him right there.
It was a couple of guys hit him like, yeah, we got to feed the post.
You
remember that?
Feed the post.
Do y'all remember the term feed the post?
Playing inside out, man. Even college teams, most college teams have adopted that NBA style, and it's not really conducive to winning college basketball games. You have to play inside out, especially when you have a guy 7 feet, 285 pounds.
Go ahead.
But no, and Trent Frazier. Trent Frazier, who's been there for the long haul. Trent Frazier is all Big Ten, first team, all defense.
Man, Joe.
He's lights out from his spots.
From them corners.
This is what we talk about. Remember how I tell you about knowing your spots on the floor and your teammates knowing your spots?
He put up a couple of threes in the second half. I'm like, do y'all know?
Bucket.
This is where he kills.
Bucket.
Like, this is a free throw.
Yes,
okay?
I think Trent Frazier and Kofi are the keys to Illinois bringing it all home. I know Io is going to make the right plays. If they need him down the stretch to make a play at the rim to score a bucket, he can get that. But it's those others, like Shaq says, it's always those others, man. We saw Lil Frankie.
Oh, yeah,
Lil
Frank Williams.
What's his name? What's his first name? I don't want to call him Lil Frankie.
It's not Junior?
No, he's not Junior.
Oh, damn.
Somebody out there. DeMonte, I think is his name.
DeMonte
Williams, yeah. Knocking it down from three, being that guy when they double on Io, and Io makes that nice pass. Lil Frankie is wide open all the time. But another key, Curbelo.
Oh, yeah.
Poppy.
Dub.
That kid is, and this is kudos to Brad Underwood. for letting him be him. Because early in the season, you could see he may have been doing too much. You know, he's a New York kid, so he plays with flash, plays with that flair.
Yep.
And I don't think he was putting on the front. I just think that's him. And I think Brad Underwood saw that was him. And it was like, okay, I'm not going to take his game away from him, but I'm going to tame him. But I'm not going to take the minutes. He's got to play big minutes. And he's grown. I like the growth from Curbelo. I think he's going to be another key to Illinois bringing it home. But shout out to Brad Underwood because I wasn't too sold on him from the jump.
You know what? The players completely bought in. And again, I feel like shout out to Ayo on that front, who's really helped the rest of his team kind of embrace that system. You see him on dead balls, they're locked on. You know what I mean? It's just a different kind of chemistry.
It is, man. It is. I love to see guys still playing college basketball.
It's a beautiful thing, G. I'm trying to tell you.
Because I watch high school basketball, that Chipotle Classic. Did you see any of that?
I didn't. I saw you talk about it with Coach, but I didn't get to see any of the game.
Yeah, too many of these kids think they're in the NBA already. I got to see.
Say that again, G.
Too many. Should I bring out the Umar? Too many of these kids think they're in the NBA already. Too many of these kids think they're in the NBA already. Too many of these kids think they're in the NBA already.
I feel that, Gino.
And it's just it's not a good watch, but outside of me watching, your growth as a player, that's not working, man. You need to, again, we talk about skipping steps. You have to learn how to play high school. And who knows? I don't know what these kids are being taught. I mean, we see them working out, guys working out with trainers 4 or 5 days a week. I know their parents probably paying $150 a session.
But and then when the trainer, game, like the trainers, I could post. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
stop it.
But then when you come to the games, them guys are sitting on the bench. So it's just refreshing to see college basketball being played like college basketball and not skipping steps in these guys, because most of those guys are not going to play in the NBA. So, again, shout out to Brad Underwood for establishing the identity. Shout out to Ayo and the guys for believing in it. And
yes, sir,
bringing that Big Ten championship home. But the NCAA tournament will be started this Friday, and it's going to be interesting. I know the Gonzaga Bulldogs finished the season undefeated. They got to win 6 more to bring it on home. And, again, I know they're one of the favorites. But this tournament is different, man, and if you get caught slipping, it's been one.
Simple as that. Y'all know how March Madness goes. This winner go home. The Illinois Fighting Illini kick it off against Drexel. They'll be trying to move up and play the winner of the Loyola versus Georgia Tech game, 8 versus 9 seed.
That's going to be tough. I watched Georgia Tech beat Duke this year. They got a fiery point guard from New York City. Shorty can hoop.
He's from New York. He wants to stay.
He can hoop. He's like 5'10", 5'11", but he got that work.
And those games, that 8 and 9 seed,
all of those,
5 and 6,
all of those, 8 and 9, 10 and 6, 11 and 5,
good luck,
12 and 4.
Good luck.
All of those games are upset special. So I'm ready to get it going, man. I'm looking for Illinois. I haven't filled out a bracket yet. I haven't even really looked at the.
When's the last time you did you fill out a bracket?
Well, there was no bracket. Yeah, I fill out a bracket every year.
Okay.
For the bread. I'd usually come up a couple dollars, but it's mostly for the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely looking forward to filling out my bracket. I've had my eye on college basketball a lot this season. I know a few of the players. But again, man, these teams, you coming into untapped territory. Most of these teams have not played each other one time this year. They play in a lot of stadiums now. So where are the games being held? Are they in a bubble or something?
They are in a bubble. They're going to be playing in Indianapolis.
The whole tournament?
The whole tournament.
It's at Lucas Oil?
Lucas Oil. So, and how many games a day is it?
So if it's 64, that means it's 32 games the first day. So that means it's 16 to 16. So it's 16.
If we get some fact checking, I don't know.
It's 64. It'll be 64 teams. So that's going to be
one stadium. No, is it more than Lucas Oil?
I don't know.
I think it may be one other stadium because this is the Midwest bracket. I think everybody on the right side of the bracket, the South or the Midwest, and the East bracket, I think everybody's playing in Indianapolis. And then in the South,
this year's tournament will be held entirely in Indiana.
Oh, wow.
The top 4 seeds will be handled the same, and so will the first 4. The changes will come in how the rest of the bracket is completed. Teams placed in the bracket based on rankings without the usual considerations for geography.
And you know what that immediately makes me think of is that this is the dark horse in the tournament. COVID-19.
No doubt.
Okay.
Because there are 4 teams, because if a team can't make it, there are 4 teams sitting on the sidelines ready to replace it.
And they won't. Did you see how they were doing it in the conference tournaments? Where that's why Duke season ended, because they had a COVID case.
Yeah.
And so
no Duke in the tournament, no Kentucky in the tournament. What was the last time that happened?
It's a new day. I don't remember.
Wow.
I don't remember that ever being the case. And of course, Duke, they probably go out early. I mean, we've seen Duke go out early a lot of times, but them not even being in the conversation is kind of crazy. But yeah, man, the teams are gonna have to bubble themselves up. You know what I mean? Because they're not letting you get any extra leeway if COVID gets contracted and gets spread around. So,
well, I'm looking at the comments. Chris Williams said it's 4 locations. So I don't know.
So read what you read again. You say it's entirely at.
And I'm reading the
article
I'm reading the article from today.
That's what I think it's. Go ahead.
Yeah, it says this year's tournament will be held entirely in Indiana.
All right. So that's the NCAA's play. Let's keep it all in one location. Hopefully, minimize traveling.
Okay. Yeah, there are different locations.
So it's Lucas Oil, but other places around Indiana.
Simon, SKJ ODT Assembly Hall, however you say that, Mackey Arena.
Yeah.
Hinkle Fieldhouse, Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Indiana Farmers Coliseum. So maybe it's just all around Indianapolis.
And I feel like NCAA did what I heard a lot of youth leagues were trying to do. Let's just go play in Indiana.
The home of
we don't give a F. Yeah. So let's go. The NCAA went on and did it. And so, yeah.
Well, before we take our break, man.
One more.
I had an interesting thought about DePaul. And one of the guys, who was I talking to yesterday? I can't remember right off bat, but they said it's time for DePaul to go down to a mid-major because the Big East has not been friendly to DePaul.
It's only been a few seasons.
But I kind of agree.
I do agree.
Because I think Loyola would beat DePaul.
I mean, let's go. Let me marinate on that. Let's go to a break real quick. Let's do that. We'll be right back on the soil. You're kicking it with the Bigs.
Yep.
WIFTBPM.
My name is Cassandra J. Matz, current Village of Olympia Fields trustee and your candidate for Village President of Olympia Fields. I've been a resident of Olympia Fields for 28 years. I believe in building strategic partnerships, establishing governance boundaries, and have and will continue to dedicate my life's work as a respected and credible voice when it comes to decision making. Olympia Fields has always been a community of familiarity and comfort, and I want to make sure the village stays that way. On Tuesday, April 6th, vote Cassandra J. Matz for your Olympia Fields Village President. Paid for by Citizens for Cassandra J. Matz.
Tune in to Parenting in a Pandemic, powered by the Chicagoland Mom Squad, every Thursday at noon, right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
Shout out to the Bigs. They just wrapped up another edition of On the Soil. They talked to Eric Davis. I didn't know that brother was like all that cold.
I didn't either.
You know, Gino is the baseball expert, right? So whatever he say, that's how I'm rolling. So just hearing how he's been talking about him since they actually scheduled that interview made me like look like, how cold was this dude? It's legit.
Shout out to Don for the guest look.
Yeah, Don is the deal, G.
Guest look is outrageous.
Don is the plug.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing.
She is the plug.
Don is dead at the plug.
Gino and Mace. Why are we being left out over here?
Well, that's not really true.
Okay, well, break it down for me.
Oh, a wise guy, eh?
What'd she do? She set us up with Scoop.
Okay.
I've had Scoop's number for a while.
Salute.
But even like I'm associates with. Don is like, boom. You know what I'm saying? So I be like, hey, let's get you on the show sometime. I'm like, yeah, let's set it up. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it. Don like, hey, yo, I need you on the show tomorrow. Like, okay.
Sit your $5 down before I make change.
Like, it's different. It's different with the big little sis, man.
The last of the Gambinos or something.
For real. She about that action. So shout out to Don, man. Shout out to the Book of Don.
WIFTBPM.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
And we need you to like,
comment,
and share
that thing
every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in it for the Black People Media.
Hold up, man. You know what I'm saying? So I be telling these niggas, man, shit ain't the game, man. Shit
Tell them,
real.
man.
with the power.
Where we live illegal, leaning off a leader, riding regal, tipping scales like Libras. Inhale, no L's, pulling out blocks like Jenga. In the rear of a Caprice's Billy Rims, flicking decent nonetheless. Nothing less than tens for the speakers. You'll hear us before you see us with beats that beat the streets up. Yeah. So try and keep up and keep it low key, cuz police try and treat us and keep us on a leash, cuz that's how they see us, thinking we nuts. Cuz we'll die for the ground beneath us, because this land made us. This land made of players that stay on paper. That's how we came up amongst the mayhem to the day when we display what we made of. The game could never change us, the West Side teachers. On these streets where you find that D before G. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just gotta been a plot. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Smell the grind in the air, take a whiff. Only the nose knows the aroma. Compose the money rolls that fold up, holding cold cups. Searching for those that got the purple O's for the $4. And we can go nuts and stay at the stove like gross us, and post up with O's on the table like coasters. That's how the game coached us, made us all in the soldiers. Now that dough is the focus, so know that we own this. Molded by the hood role models, riding good, the latest model, drinking good, raising bottles like we just missed a pothole. You got to know that it's impossible to stop our flow. We've seen it all from watching cops reload 30s a dro while drinking the night away until the block got slow. You'll know as soon as you see us, we the ones laid back in the cut. My demeanor seems to always get me up. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just gotta been a plot. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into strength. Yeah, home of the survivor, survival of the fittest in the town. It's wicked, you can J down in a minute. What am? What's the business? The biz is how you down and get it. From Cape Town to Fifth City, the sounds of Fifth's empty. When we tipsy is risky, where the lick be at least 10 deep. It tempts me, but there's no mystery. Where the chips be, the tips G. Just our history from the 60s. Pimpin' ain't easy, but we bleed it. This here game is in our veins, in the air we breathe in. Believe this, it's no game, but the key is your mouthpiece, spit your game. But believe, turn nothing into something. We suffer without supper long enough. Struggling from summer to summer, the same place where the dope is sold. It's home to the Oprah show, the same place I know is home. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just gotta been a plot. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir. Hustle for every penny in the trenches, but we turn struggle into
WIFTBPM.
back on the soil, y'all. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in, rocking with the bigs. You know we appreciate y'all more than you know. Stay tuned in right after you guys, the bigs, man. The gods.
Cousin 2.
I said what I said. Coming
Herb
to you
Howard.
3 to 6. You know they're going to be talking about everything that it's going to get y'all riled up, get the conversation going, man. I can't wait to tune in, see what these guys got in store for this week.
Hey, man. Speaking of the DePaul Blue Demons.
Man.
Segue.
Did we speak it up? I don't know, guys. Like, we got some DePaul news fresh across the wire. Dave Lato 2.0 is now over, man. DePaul and Dave Lato, their head coach, have parted ways, and they are now looking for a new coach after a very disappointing season, which is, I feel like, why you wanted to talk about DePaul.
I really didn't want to talk about DePaul. I just wanted to tell you how trash they were, how disappointed I was in the program itself.
Now, should we mention how bad COVID?
Yeah, I mean they didn't play for like the first 3 weeks of the season, but
no team got hit like they did. You know what I mean? It was just a rough season.
Yeah, but
and they came in with decent expectations. They kind of fizzed out last year though, right?
Yeah, well,
because they were ranked for a hot second last year.
Yeah,
and then didn't make the tournament.
I think the Associated Press just felt sorry for him because DePaul was not one of the best 25
You need a
teams
story.
in the nation. Yeah, stop
You need a story, right?
Stop it.
And then their best player went to the league.
Paul Reed
went to the league. So
yeah, and Lil Charlie was supposed to be Big East Player of the Year.
Shout out to Morgan Park.
But yeah, it was bad, man. I watched about 2 or 3 DePaul games this season, and I couldn't finish the games. That's how bad they were. Even Javon, our boy Javon, Freeman Liberty transferred from Valpo into DePaul. Thought he would have a bigger stage to showcase his skills, and it just didn't really pan out that way. I would have preferred him to stay at Valpo, who was a mid-major, like you said. We've seen many guys from mid-majors make their way into the league and become those guys. Fred VanVleet, C.J. McCollum, just to name 2.
So why do you think players are still hunting for basically a stage when I feel like it's been proven year after year.
TV time.
But you are the stage. Like, if you play well, you're going to be found.
You never know what they're telling these kids, man. And then with this social media and just there's a lot of different factors that go into these decisions these kids make. And I'm not speaking for Javon. I don't know what his thought process was going from Valpo to DePaul. I'm figuring that, again, like you said, they were ranked in the top 25 last year. They're playing at what's the stadium? At Wintrust, back in the city. You know,
flat dab in the city.
Yeah, man. Thinking that they could one up what they did last year. And like you said, COVID definitely took them down the first maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month of the season. They got like 7, 8 games in a row canceled. So they did start off slow, but man, like I said, I watched like 3 or 4 games this year, and I didn't finish watching them because the games, they were disappointing. And, man, hey, Dave Lato, like you said, Dave Lato 2.0, there was a reason why they let him go the first time around. He got a second chance. Things were looking up for a minute, but they kind of fizzled out. I don't know if it was the talent. I don't know if it was him not getting, his scheme and his methods across to the team. I don't know what it was that led to his demise, but again, man, watching those games this year, it was just bad basketball. It was just bad basketball. DePaul, they just looked like they were out there a lot of nights. No structure.
When you say that, I feel you got to get rid of your coach. You know what I got to ask you now, though? Which way does this program go now? You know what I mean?
Good question.
As far as head coaches go, do they look for, an X name from the scene? You know what I mean? A Ty Slaughter, a Nick Irvin. What's old boy that's over there at Duke? He was going crazy when I was in school.
John Shire?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think the number one thing, you have to be able to get these recruits. And what's the move for DePaul? Are we trying to get the best players from the crib?
You brought it up. Being in the Big East, you have to be able to recruit. You know what I mean? You have to kind of shake things up and bring in, if not top players from Chicago, then where? You know? Who's growing up saying, I want to go to DePaul?
Well, to me, it seems like more kids are choosing Loyola as Chicago's destination over DePaul.
I mean, but look at
the structure.
And what do you think of when you think of Loyola? Sister Jean.
She's still kicking. She's still
still
out here.
Holding it down. Another go-round.
She's 100 plus.
100 plus.
On point as
but
ever.
Never afraid of the camera. Shout out
Crazy.
Sister Jean over there. But, man, first of all, Jean, I went to a Catholic school. I got bad memories of anybody named Sister, but.
Yeah, me too. Sister Hurley. I remember Sister Hurley from Mount Carmel. But yeah, go ahead.
But I got Porter Moses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they've done their job when it comes to putting pieces together that will make them a destination. Yeah, and they went right past downtown. You know what I mean?
So like we just said, Chris says, that's cool. Now they should hire my boy Tim. And like you said, I'm like, well, didn't Lato bring Tim with him? He said, yeah. But Tim got the recruits.
He did.
And I think that's key, being able to have somebody that's on the soil that can get in.
It's essential.
Yeah, man, that can get into these kids and give them something that a guy like Dave Lato is like the last leg. It's like you send Tim to be able to go in the hood and go to these open gyms.
Like Chin.
Yeah, Ronald
Illinois.
Chin. Yeah, be able to talk to these guys, somebody they can relate to. Then when it's time to seal the deal, then you bring in coach, just because he's the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that's essential, but I think what you said is maybe even, John Shire, I'm not sure if he would be the guy for DePaul, but I think going that route, maybe an ex-player who may be off the grid just a little, who we may not be our first line of thinking, but I do think somebody that's closer in age, definitely more relatable though.
Yeah, totally. I got a quick John Shire story. I think I was a sophomore in high school. My last bit of my hooping career, So Coach Terry, who coaches at Morgan Park and everything, he comes in to study period one day right before practice. He's like, look, for study period right now, I only want y'all to watch this video I'm about to play. I don't want to hear nobody talk. Nobody do nothing, just shut up and watch this video over and over again. And when he clicked it on, it was a video of John Shire from like 3 nights earlier, scoring like 25 points in like 4 minutes, though. He was letting that thing fly, Gino. Dog. The man was letting it fly like nobody's business, and he was knocking everything down.
I saw David Kaplan say that John Shire was in his top 10 Illinois basketball players of all time.
Joe, he was letting it fly and knocking everything down. And he looked at us and said, this what it look like when you ain't scared, son. You know what I mean? He said, this what it look like when you ain't scared to put it up, son. And I'll never forget. I'm like, you know what? That is what it looked like. Okay? But it was beautiful. You know what I mean? So I feel like in terms of basketball, John Shire would be interesting. But yeah.
John Shire's...
Yeah, he got a name, a legend in the state,
Yeah, DePaul, at this point, like I said, the reason we brought DePaul up was because somebody mentioned to me last night. Who was it? I can't remember. That's bogus. I can't remember exactly who it was.
It was yesterday.
Yeah, it was last night.
I know the feeling, Gino.
Yeah, it's like DePaul should think about going to the mid-major because the Big East just ain't it. And I think that's actually perfect for DePaul. Like they're not a huge school, number one. Name-wise. And it's like even campus-wise, like it's not one of those Notre Dame universities or UCLA or any of those types of schools. This is a school that's located in the middle of Wicker Park or wherever the hell DePaul is.
All over
Lincoln Park. Thanks, Esco. Lincoln Park. So I think they need to dumb it down a little bit. Take it down a notch.
I mean, when you're that kind of program, you're still kind of like putting all your apples into the athletics. You know what I mean? It's like, no, bruh, D1. You know?
I mean, mid-D.
But see, they went from Conference USA.
And that was Conference USA was basically mid-major, if you ask me.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, then they took the step up to the Big East. It's
No
like,
way.
no, they're not.
But seeing that the Big East, I mean, when you think about the Big East.
Things got reshuffled.
Yeah, the Big East is not, I don't want to say it's not as competitive.
What it used to be?
Yeah, it's not what it used to be.
I mean, you knew you were getting St. John's. You know what
all
I mean?
all of those, St. John's, Villanova, Georgetown, Syracuse, all of those teams were like in the top 25. Now you're lucky if one of those teams, it's been Villanova the last few years.
I'm saying there's one Big East team in the tournament.
Georgetown?
Yeah.
See?
That's crazy.
So, hey, DePaul, man, first off, like Meg said, y'all need to hire the bigs, and we could get some things done around there.
Could have been cooked that up, DePaul. Come on.
But, yeah, I think Tim Anderson would be a dope Tim Anderson.
Not the White Sox.
Not the shortstop for the White Sox, but our guy from Crane from out
Tim
west,
Anderson.
Tim.
Y'all know, yeah.
I think Tim would be a great fit for them. You saw what he did last year when Dave Lato was out those first few games. He had a command of the team.
Yes.
He could speak directly to Charlie Moore. And, that's another thing with these guys. This season, those guys are coming back next year and not losing a year eligibility. So little Charlie can come back next year and be a senior. Like Javon Freeman can come back next year and will still be a junior.
I feel like DePaul being where it is in the city, I feel like just the way kids think these days, or just even the way I would have, if I was a highly recruited athlete, it's just too close to home. You know?
That's true. But also, if you think about it back when they had Q, Lance, Bobby, Paul.
And we talked to Paul about it, but those were the I'm like,
that's
what
I'm
if
saying.
DePaul
You
got
had
Ios?
those,
You know
that's
what
what I'm saying. You had those guys. If Adam Miller had chose,
then I'm gonna hoop if it's the place to be.
And Mig mentioned something. He said, man, it's tough when you got Illinois and Loyola, but it's like again, like you said, Illinois is in Champaign. That's a couple hours away.
And it's the Big Ten.
Yeah, exactly.
The full college experience. You know
Loyola. Do you know what conference Loyola's in?
The Pacific, like what is it?
I don't know. I thought it was the Missouri Valley.
I think it is Missouri Valley.
Right.
So
like you can still make the tournament. You have to win the tournament. You have to win the
conference tournament.
Yeah, but hey.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
Get an automatic bid.
I just want to see DePaul back where DePaul basketball, like the legend of DePaul basketball, going all the way back to Mark and them guys.
Yeah, man.
Rod Strickland and them guys. David Booth and Stephen Howard to Paul and Lance and Q.
They need to tap in with those names, but they also, I mean, the issue is the gap in between those names. I mean, who are the recent cats that you can hang your hat on?
Nobody since I can't remember anybody after Q and Lance and them. Maybe if you mention the name, but off top, I couldn't tell you.
Yes, and that's the issue. And I feel like that's why they tried to bring Dave Lato back to kind of tap in. But anytime you're talking about rehiring a coach, shout out to Jay Reinsdorf and Tony La Russa, I don't know if that's the way to go. It's like you fired him for a reason.
You fired him for a reason the first time.
Stick to your guns, you know what I mean? But now they're back at square one.
On that note, man, we are not getting up out of here today without the word of the day. Esco, you
Can't
know the
do
word
it.
of the day has become one of the big staples, one of the staples of On the Soil. We actually have 2 words of the day. I'm going to let y'all choose. Word 1 or word 2? Which, Esco?
Hold on. Okay, so T, let's talk about it. Okay, so
One.
I want to go with 1. I'm feeling like a double. I'm going to go 2.
Esco said 2.
I'm going 1. No, I switch it. 2. I'm Esco. I'm standing with you.
Today's word of the day. Horology.
Horology.
It's a noun. Its origin is Greek.
Horology.
Early 19th century.
Okay.
The study and measurement of time.
The study of measurement of time.
The study and measurement of time.
I feel like I should try to spell it. I don't know.
The art of making clocks and watches. Horology. Horology.
H-O-R, one R.
Horology. Horology.
Horology. I would have moved on to the next round with that one. I would have got that one. Esco.
Me too. I don't think that was a tough spelling.
The double R wouldn't trip me. I'm like, no, because the definition made is one R. But,
Modern technologies, such as atomic clocks, have increased the precision of horology. The museum had an entire exhibit dedicated to the craft of horology.
Oh, man, come on. That sounds like one of the most boring exhibits of all time. No. So these are the cats that make the clocks?
Horology.
I thought it was like a Women's Month thing. Horology.
Oh, wow.
Nope.
Close.
Unless it's like y'all internal clocks. You know what I mean?
Horology threw my Saturday and Sunday all the way off this week.
Oh, yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I'm still suffering, bro.
I like the extra sunlight, but still, the first couple of days, like, whoa.
I was on the game. I was on the 5 all night Saturday night.
Yes, sir. What's your tag, bro? Come on.
I'm on the game. I done found that PS5 is different. These video games, Sony, y'all are doing a whole lot with 2K21, man. I found so much new going into the city in the. Have you done that?
Yeah, bro.
That's out of control.
Oh yeah, the PS5 is definitely crazy. I've ran into some pretty wild glitches on my PS5. I don't want to cut into the next show, but I've run into some pretty wild glitches.
I haven't had one glitch yet.
So on my 2K, the cheerleaders are all male, with skirts on and baseball hats.
Oh, wow.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure because they have on baseball hats. And it hasn't been updated out of mine yet. Every time it's the time out, I'm like, this is wild.
I'm going to check mine to make sure, but I don't think my guys are male. I don't think my cheerleaders are male with baseball hats.
It's pretty wild.
Skirts.
Every time it's like a stoppage of play, I'm like, this is crazy, 2K.
Maybe it's one of your presets?
When
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised, Esco, that you can control that on the game.
I'm gonna tell you how wild the game is before we get out of here. I was playing and the ball went out of bounds, so I had to take the ball out of bounds right in front of the scorer's table. Why is the lady sitting at the scorer's table with the TV screen that we have sitting at the press box with the scores and the box sheet and the rebounds and the it's the same. It was unbelievable. I said y'all have gone way too far.
Y'all paying extra attention to detail now.
It was crazy, man. But yeah, I finally got back on the game. I haven't been on the PS4 since like 2017.
It's a new baseball game coming out.
Oh, I got it. I get my download like the first week of April.
I'm in the same.
I'm ready, man. When I had some free time, I like to spend my free time just chilling and relaxing. So getting on the PS5 has definitely been soothing for my mind.
We got like 20 seconds. Let's get up out of here.
Hey, man, y'all know what it is, man. We appreciate all the family members tuned in to
Real
On the Soil.
Family.
We got Herb and 2 up next. I said what I said. Intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. Shout out to Esco, smiling.
Oh, the super producer.
Behind the boards, making our day as bright as it possibly can be, bro.
Making us sound good. Thank you, Esco.
Showing snow at the same time.
Man, I don't even want to know what it looks like when we get outside.
Take it back, Esco.
But yeah, man, on that note, the brothers up next. Stay tuned. Herb and 2, 3 to 6, Monday through Fridays.
Till Wednesday.
Hey, man, you know what we do with the big. Show love, spread love, stay away from the haters. Circulate the dollar with your people, man.
Do that.
But most importantly, always, always, always keep it player, man. There's a lot of non-player individuals running rampant in these streets, especially on social media. I see it all day, every day. And y'all stop lying on social media, man. Don't y'all know people know y'all in real life?
That's the toughest
every
part.
Every day I see somebody that I know lying.
Woo! One of the reasons, like you say, I let social media sell out of bounds.
Man, your life has to be trash.
Don't
like
feeling
on
like that
social
about
media
people
to be
I know.
lying about stuff that don't have nothing to do with nothing. So on that note, shout out to the people we love, y'all.
It's
Until
us.
Wednesday, we out.
This is a Traffic Jam. Traffic Jam. traffic jam, traffic jam, traffic jam.